The Spurs opened up Las Vegas Summer League by putting a whooping on the Philadelphia 76ers with a 111-70 victory. Number 2 overall pick Dylan Harper did not play for the Spurs last night, but is expected to make his Spurs debut when they return to action tomorrow at 3 against number 1 overall pick Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. In Major League Baseball, the Rangers beat the Angels 11-4 in their series finale. Up next, they open up a series with the Astros in Houston, which starts tonight. A game you can catch on your home for the Rangers, San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 6:30. Speaking of the Astros, they're calling up their number 1 overall prospect, Bryce Matthews, to join the team. He's hit .283 with 10 homers this season in AAA.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Did you say whooping? They put a whooping on them during your sports center?
Put a whooping on
whooping on them. Yeah, they certainly kicked ass last night. I don't know about you. I didn't watch the second half of that beat-down Summer League basketball game. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle wrapping up his vacation. He's back on Monday. I'm Jason Minix on a football feeling kind of Friday. Because we're going to talk a lot of football today because, well, why not? Lots to get into. You want to be a part of the show, it is easy to do. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Twitter, at Jason Minix. YouTube, you can always comment there. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. We might even do some giveaways on YouTube today because, why not? I got to admit, today has been kind of a weird day. One, I'm supposed to have a vacation day today because I took every Friday off this summer. And then my boss realized, Reinagle's already gone, and I know I approved your day off, but would you mind working? Sure, why not? I'm glad I didn't have anything planned today. I
Wish you would have.
Look, when I started putting in Fridays, the first Friday I was going to take off, we had a bunch of rain, couldn't go play golf. Then I forget, I don't know, I made a dentist appointment. Today I was supposed to go see the eye doctor. But I woke up this morning, and I say when my wife woke me up this morning way earlier than I normally wake up, it's because we had a light. The chandelier in the kitchen fell in the middle of the night. I didn't hear it. My wife didn't hear it in the middle of the night, but she got up, went to go turn on all the lights. None of the lights would come on, and then she figured out, well, that's because the light's no longer hanging from the ceiling. And, I'm like, what, you're kind of in a grog. You're like, what the hell are you talking about? So I get up, and I go and I look at the kitchen table, and our chandelier is sitting right in the middle of the kitchen table. So, well, how in the F did that happen? And how did we not hear that? Nothing broke, which is surprising. Normally, because my kitchen table kind of is my de facto office at home. We moved into that house. It's a new build. We moved in January of 2020, and as we all know, the world shut down in March, and that kitchen table became the radio station there for about a year and a half. And so when I'm at home, I still utilize that as kind of my work area. Normally at night, I set up my laptop and stuff like that, so in the morning, it's already done. I didn't do that last night, and thank God, because it would have crushed my computer. Instead, I've got a nice dent in the kitchen table, but that's it. So I call Hill Electric because, one, I'm not messing with electricity, and Hill Electric is the best. And it's like 7:30 in the morning. They were at the house by 8:15, which, credit to Hill Electric. And Isaac and Alex, great at what they do. They got everything fixed fairly quickly. Turns out, when I bought the house, Joanna liked the chandelier in the dining room, but she wanted it in the kitchen. So they switched them. And I was in the house, when we were going through and closing everything, when they were there. The dude took it off of one and put it on the other. Simple enough. Well, it turns out that chandelier that they moved, that thing weighs about 100 pounds. It was not light. The bracket thingamajigger that holds it into the ceiling is only rated for a 50-pound light. So it took 5.5 years for it to finally give way and break. Who knew? So the dudes from Hill Electric, Isaac, he goes to Lowe's, buys all the right parts. Now it's rated for like 250 pounds, has it back up there, and outside of a big old dent in the table, nobody would know. But I never would have thought that a light would fall. Do you imagine, Pledge, all the parties that I've had at the house? Everybody's sitting around and the light just falls right in the middle of the table?
I mean, it'd be funny because I've been to enough parties at your house. Not a ton of people sit there. It would have destroyed a ton of food that was sitting on the table.
Well, I mean, there's that. But, I mean, and again, we have moved the table this way, that way. If that thing lands on your head, you're dead. But just the idea of seeing it fall, the reaction there, it seems like something out of a bad cartoon, right? The light just fell. Like, how do you explain that? You know what? Like I said, I had an eye appointment this morning. Called the doctor's office. Like, yeah, I'm going to be late. Well, what's going on? We need to reschedule. And you know how some doctors are when it comes to scheduling. I was like, dude, I had a light fall. The guys are here fixing it. And you could just hear on the other end, seriously? A light fell? Yeah, the whole thing just fell.
You should say 100-pound chandelier fell. It has more impact, just like the chandelier did.
Yeah, sure. I mean, hard even saying the word chandelier. To me, it's a light. You know, it's the light that hangs over your kitchen table. But and then you're like, well, that's electricity. I'm glad it didn't start a fire. Glad it didn't do. I mean, you never know. Glad it didn't rip the whole ceiling down. It's just that little bracket, and I posted a picture of it on my Facebook. Just fell. Gary Murphy on YouTube says, can I get an invite to the next shindig? I don't know if it's safe, my friend. Otherwise, Gary, sure. But no, you can't come over. The whole thing is bizarre. I've never heard of anybody or a light like that just falling and breaking. So I say this kind of as a public service announcement. If you move a light, make sure that the support can actually handle the weight of the light that you're moving. I'm a little surprised, or not, that the builder dude that did it didn't think about that when he was moving the lights. Although he was a little pissed that I was like, yeah, can you move this light over there and this? Because, when you're going through a walkthrough, and we didn't have the house custom built. It was a home built, but it was empty. We're the first people that lived there, so they're like, hey, anything you want done, let us know. I'm like, yeah, we need a different shower head, and we need this, and do this. And then they kind of roll your eyes at the checklist, but, that's one of the things that they did. Never, in 5 years for that thing to break? I don't know. Renee G says the chandelier went Phantom of the Opera. In a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, bizarre. And I think what's even crazier, now, no surprise that I didn't hear it. I'll sleep through a tornado. I mean, you could land the 747 in my backyard. I'm going to sleep through it. My wife, a pin drops and she's going to wake up. And for her to walk out and go, well, how the hell did that happen? A little surprising. So how was your morning? Probably better than mine. And I'm just glad I didn't take the day off and schedule a tea time, because typical, right? You get a free day and stuff happens. Frank Mateo on YouTube says not just lights, but TVs too. He bought an 86 yesterday and dealt with the wait for the mount. Yeah, I guess, I mean, see now, TV, I would think about, especially if you're going with a major upgrade. TV, I would automatically think, all right, can the bracket support because it's in the wall? You think all the stuff hanging in your ceiling, and I'm not a construction guy, let alone a handyman, but you would think everything hanging in the ceiling would be able to hang it. Or if you've got, I don't know, the builder, a trusted handyman, a construction guy with, I don't know, a license number and insurance, that he would think, you really want to move that light because we're going to have to get up there and change the support, and that's really a lot of work. And I still would have said, yeah. But, he just flipped them. You would think he would think about it. I know if you're hanging a TV, that's something that I would think about. Or, when you're hanging something kind of heavier on the wall, Do you have the right screws or you're getting it into a stud because of stuff falling? So it's there. Frank says he needed the bigger TV because it's going to be a Super Bowl season. There will be a Super Bowl this year, but your Washington football team won't be a part of it. I can tell you that, Frank. I mean, we all know that. I mean, look, you're starting to sound like a Cowboy fan. Super Bowl. You've had one good year. One. I mean, enjoy the one good year that you had. I mean, and last night I wrapped up watching Quarterback on Netflix, and the devastation the Lions had when Washington went into Detroit and crushed them in that game. I get it. Enjoy that, Frank, but don't buy a new TV now for your Super Bowl party involving your team, because we all know that is not going to happen. Again, thanks to Hill Electric for the quick response this morning and getting everything taken care of at the house. They are fantastic at what they do. The Spurs, what was the word you used, Pledge?
Put a whooping on them.
Put a whooping on Philly last night. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on The Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1. Us, Array, the College of Healthcare Professionals, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What a perfect time to pull out the golf clubs and go play some golf. And the perfect place to do that is the Golf Club of Texas. They have done so many improvements to that golf course. It's unbelievable. It looks so much different. Look, if you haven't been out there in a while, you haven't been out there. Brand new golf cart paths all over the place. They've resodded the entire golf course. Plus, they have these zero-scape areas that just add beauty to what is already a beautiful piece of property. The Golf Club of Texas, not a private club. Sure seems like one, though. But they are open to the public 7 days a week and some of the best service you can imagine. Then there's the Tin Cup Bar and Grill, the absolute best food and drinks everywhere. Any kind of cocktail you can imagine, any kind of draft beer, cold beer, whatever you want, the Tin Cup Bar and Grill is your place to be. Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. For dinner at the Tin Cup, around with your buddies, or your next tournament. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
At Natural Bridge Caverns, the passage of time and moving water have carved out a massive underground creation. Hidden Wonders, our newest cave tour. Watch thousands of lights reveal otherworldly sculptures in a massive canyon with a sound and light show finale. Or visit the largest of our 2 caverns with a discovery tour, winding through majestic rooms with incredible formations. Above ground, top off your adventure with a zip along the sky rails on our towering ropes course. Choose your adventure at naturalbridgecaverns.com.
School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your 4-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuits in Selma.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's gonna finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Come check out the new Lion and Rose Dominion location with the Blitz this Thursday. The Blitz will be broadcasting live for the Harley-Davidson Javelina Bike Night. We'll have food, vendors, tons of giveaways, including your chance to win Queensryche tickets. Take advantage of the great happy hour specials, $2.50 drafts, $5 wines and wells, and a long list of $5 appetizers. That's the Blitz this Thursday starting at 2 at the Lion and Rose Dominion location off I-10 after the Dominion exit.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
$111.70. A whooping the Spurs put on the Summer Sixers last night. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Joe Reinagel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix on this great Friday afternoon. On a Summer League night billed as Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James, the Chupacabra, David Jones Garcia said, "Hold my beer." Dude led San Antonio in scoring again. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 assists. I believe Mr. David Jones Garcia has led the Spurs in scoring in every one of their Summer League games this year. 24, I believe, is his lowest output. Dude's having a hell of a summer. He's going to be a Summer League legend. Will he make the team? Is there a spot for this guy? Probably not. But maybe. I mean, you never know. I call him the Chupacabra because the first couple games I didn't see, and there was nothing written about him in the write-ups, even though he was leading the team in scoring. I had a couple people last night send me direct messages saying, "Why do you call him the Chupacabra?" That's why. Riley Minix, though, needs another N in his name, but Riley does have an opportunity to help the big boy Spurs. And I know it's Vegas. It is Summer League. But how about I want to say the majority of the roster, the number of regulars that were sitting courtside at a Summer League game last night? Now, all these guys love basketball. Hoopers hoop. They love to go watch. No surprise when you see a current Spur rolling in to watch the Roadrunners play some college basketball. They love it. But for them to be sitting courtside, for Wemby to already have his hair grown back, I mean, it does show a lot. I mean, there was the photo of a bunch of the dudes at the airport yesterday getting on the Southwest flight to go out there. It's one thing for them to show up, but they all seem to generally hang out and enjoy each other's company. They're all friends. You don't see that with every team. You really don't. Spurs family, that's real. You could see that last night. Now, they didn't go to San Francisco, but Vegas is Vegas, so let's be honest. And how about De'Aaron Fox looking more like a coach wearing the Spurs polo? I mean, honestly, I thought that was pretty cool. He's representing. That's a dude proud to be a member of the Spurs. And nobody else is wearing anything with a Spurs logo on it. But De'Aaron Fox, aside from Wemby, the biggest star sitting courtside, who probably didn't need a name tag getting anywhere in Vegas, but he's wearing the shirt just in case. I thought it was cool. Even Summer League head coach Mike Noyes appreciated the actual real Spurs being there to support.
Gym changes, opponent changes, fan changes, but our identity is the same, and we play that way no matter what. It was great for our roster guys to be here. Appreciate them staying until the end and supporting us. That does mean a lot to the guys and to the staff.
Roster guys, I guess, is how we're supposed to refer to them. And the fact that they did stay till the end. I didn't. I didn't. I mean, that game was over at halftime. I mean, it's enough to watch Summer League basketball as it is. Do you think my wife was going to watch the second half of that? No. So we watched we finished Quarterback last night on Netflix in the second half of that game because I'd seen it. It is cool seeing those guys showing up. You saw Mitch Johnson. He was out there. Is he really there to see those guys, or is it a combination of Vegas? Is he, stealing from the Greg Popovich playbook? Play the game and let's go get dinner. There are a lot of great spots to go get dinner in Las Vegas. But it felt like the whole team was there. Let's have a team-building trip to Vegas. Pretty damn good idea. We're going to do that again in August at Circa Las Vegas. Promo code Blitz when you book your rooms for late August. Details on that, we'll pass those along coming up. But in reality, I do think the Summer Spurs needed a game like that. I mean, it seemed like everybody contributed. David Jones-Garcia is one thing, but let's focus on the guys that actually might be on the San Antonio Spurs. And I say that, Brian Wright doing a halftime on television last night, the Spurs GM, during an interview, had a lot of nice things, as you would expect, to say about a David Jones-Garcia.
It's been fun to watch, the first couple games out in San Francisco and then extending here. He's in a great comfort zone. He can score at all three levels, but he's also done a great job of drawing extra defenders and making plays for teammates as well. So he's got it going tonight.
And he did. He's had it going every night of Summer League. Although all eyes, they want to be on Dylan Harper. Maybe we'll see that on Saturday. But Carter Bryant, another lottery pick. And not a great offensive night. That's being extremely kind. But defensively, dude was solid. And, even Brian Wright said, he's doing what the Spurs expected him to do, especially here at Summer League.
Yeah, I think oftentimes when you see young guys, they come to Summer League and they're very focused on the offensive end of the floor. And I think you saw tonight, he has a very mature approach where he doesn't force things offensively. He takes what the defense is giving him, and then defensively, he's a menace. He's active with his hands. He's guarding all over the floor, coming weak side and blocking shots and protecting the rim. So we're really excited about his growth and development and what he can add to our team long term.
Yeah, menace. 3 blocks last night. Again, it's Summer League. I'm not going to get too high unless your name is David Jones-Garcia, or too low on what anybody does in Summer League. Especially, the nerves. Cooper Flagg might have played, in his words, his worst ever game last night. Cooper Flagg, kind of like Wemby's first Summer League game. And there is a difference. One, the attention. Dude, a couple months ago was right here in San Antonio playing in the Final Four. Watching that game that he was in, my goodness, it looked incredible, right? He was incredible. But even last night's game, it didn't appear that Carter Bryant was worried about the offense. He was 1 of 6, 1 of 4 from three-point range. But even Mike Noyes said he finally played relaxed basketball.
And it happens to a lot of players. They care so much. And he's one of those guys, he cares so much about not his success, helping the team. And sometimes you got to just relax a little bit. He did that tonight. He was terrific.
And again, on the defensive end, he was. Learn, grow, get better. And I don't know if Carter Bryant is going to be on the full roster or spending a lot of time in Austin. We know how the Spurs typically run things. So I'm going to guess he'll tear up I-35 to a degree. But ultimately, the one thing that I really took from last night was the Brian Wright halftime interview. He talked about kind of the off-season plan, and he basically said what we've seen and what we've been saying. Well, I wanted them to find that three-pointer and work offense. they knew they needed help defensively first.
Yeah, I think a big focus for us is how we maintained our defense as the game went on. And, when Victor was out of the game, and we had some struggles when he was out defensively. And so one of the things we wanted to shore up was our front court. And we think going out and adding Luke Cornett and now Kelly Olynyk, in addition to the guys that we retained, have really helped, secure a front line that is formidable, can protect the rim, can defensive rebound, and really fuel our transition game. So we're excited about what he brings on the court, but even more so off the court too. Great culture guy, great in the locker room. So we felt like we tried to address those things early on this summer.
And they have. Again, different of a plan approach than I was thinking, wanting, hoping, but I'm not surprised. I go back to earlier in the week when we talked with Antonio Daniels, and Antonio gave me a bunch of crap for wanting Kevin Durant because I did, and he's like, that's not the Spurs way. And it's true. It's not the Spurs way. So when you see Bleacher Report today, Grant Hughes with this crazy idea that the Spurs are going to make a move for LeBron James, don't send it to me. I think 17 of you have sent it to me. It is a crazy hypothetical trade for 1 year, and the cost to get LeBron for 1 year in this crazy hypothetical Bleacher Report trade scenario isn't crazy high because you keep Steph Castle, you keep a Dylan Harper, you would lose a Keldon Johnson, you would lose a Jeremy Sohan, you would lose that pick from Atlanta, and there was somebody else in there that I've already forgotten, so I'm not going to miss him either, right? So, but LeBron isn't coming here for a year. He's not. And that would be so un-Spurs-like for them to make this trade, although it does feel weird around Los Angeles, around the Lakers, that LeBron, for the first time, is not the centerpiece of his team. Seems like they're making all their decisions through Luka. They make a move and they get a new starting center in DeAndre Ayton. And according to DeAndre Ayton, LeBron hasn't reached out to welcome him yet, but Luka did. He was asked, you heard from LeBron? No, but I got a text from Luka. It's crazy, right? No, I don't think LeBron is going to end up with the silver and black. I don't know that I'd be mad at it, but I don't think that it's going to happen, to be honest. And if you were to go Harrison Barnes, Keldon, and Jeremy Sohan in that Atlanta pick for 1 year of LeBron, it'd be fun. It'd be interesting. Does it make the Spurs that much of a better basketball team? And I say that, does that make them a championship caliber team? I don't know that it does. Does it make them a playoff team? Sure. I think anytime you've got a LeBron James, you've got a chance. But in reality, I just, for everybody that said, oh, the Spurs would never chase a Kevin Durant, don't send me the let's go get LeBron James, right? I mean, honestly, I can't tell you how many people have sent that to me on Instagram. It's floating around, and how you can forward stuff. I don't know if you guys really want it, or the fact that they're talking about the Spurs, which it might be a little bit all of it. You want to come up with a crazy hypothetical, let's see what gets people talking about, good, bad, ain't going to happen, let's do it. All that conversation. When was the last time the Spurs were in conversations quite like that? It's uncharted territory for us.
It is, but I think the main reason they're sending it to you is because they were hoping you bring it up to Joe and they could just see him go.
Well, Joe is somewhere on a beach in Mexico. And he posted a photo earlier. He wishes he could have this every day. Dude, your liver and wallet can't handle that. You're not close to retirement. Soak up the sun the next couple of days. He's got a wedding that he's got to go to tomorrow, and then get on a plane Sunday. I don't know, some nephew or something's getting married. But he needs to come back to work. His head can explode next week. But apparently he's met some people from London, because he was texting me earlier. Hey, what's Will's last name? Our buddy Will Gavin, who works for Talk Sport over there in London. And he needed some of the drunk pictures from New Orleans so he could talk to his new friends from London that he was chatting up at the pool, I suppose. Good stuff. And I'm sure if he saw this, he's holding court at the pool bar talking about how much he doesn't like LeBron. In fact, the FedEx guy was here earlier today, delivered some Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for training camp, and he was like, Minix, are you the one that said LeBron's better than Michael Jordan? I was like, no. It must have been A.J. Hoffman. Well, that sounds about right. He goes, yeah, that's an idiot, right? There's no way, right? Michael Jordan's the best. I'm with you, FedEx guy.
So are all of those Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds going to the Jim Beam Beach House, or?
All of them? I mean,
is that the?
It's the 11th. They're in the office. Whatever's left, we'll make a trip out to Oxnard. Let's be honest. I see 4 bags on your side of the glass right now. So no, not all of them will be going. They are earmarked to go to our Dallas Cowboys at training camp coverage. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, which starts in a couple of weeks. Let's talk some Cowboys football ahead of training camp. Joseph Hoyt, the new Cowboys beat writer for the Dallas Morning News, will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're flying solo, but there's so much to talk about. Spurs are in the middle of their summer league run. The Cowboys got to do something about Micah. We're going to look at it all and get ready for a fine week of fun. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
These guys around the country made a fan page for us. So, Rico Suave, what is it that stimulated you about our program?
It's a love of the show, man.
What would you like to see us do more of since you're a P1 listener?
Girls on trampolines during the break, they're pre-K.
Man.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Hi, Dr. Damaso Oliva Jr. here, candidate for Ray Fail 77. I invite you to join us for the 170 Grander Poker Tournament on Saturday, August 2nd. Proudly sponsored by Thomas J. Henry and benefiting the Ray Fail 77 Scholarship Fund. We're putting $170,000 on the table, and it could be yours. The top women's and men's finishers each win $50,000. Register now at TexasHold'emSA.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Join the Blitz live this Thursday at Lion and Rose at the Dominion for the Harley-Davidson Javelina Bike Night with food, drinks, vendors, and giveaways. That's this Thursday, starting at 2 at Lion and Rose Dominion, just off I-10 after the Dominion exit.
Always going for it, never pump, fourth down, left.
Just a couple of weeks away from Cowboys at training camp in Oxnard, California. Can't wait to get out there. The San Antonio Sports Star coverage, we get out there Saturday the 26th. Head of that first padded practice on Sunday the 27th. Joe Reinagle still on vacation. I'm Jason Minix here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Let's talk some Cowboys with Joseph Hoyt, the Cowboys beat writer for the Dallas Morning News, joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. I know you only have a couple more weeks before the grind really begins. Joseph, appreciate you doing this on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, of course, Jason. Thanks for having me.
You know, you had an article yesterday talking about 5 big questions for the Cowboys heading into camp. And one of the ones that I'm most curious of, because until we actually get there and we get into the season, we don't know the answer to, Marty Ball equals shoddy ball, question mark. How much more emphasis on the run game do you expect with Brian Schottenheimer calling plays with comparisons to things that his dad used to do or what he did while he was with the Seahawks?
Yeah, I think if you kind of look at it, obviously when you think of Marty Ball, you do think of running the ball. You think of LaDainian Tomlinson. You think of what they were able to do off play action with guys like Phillip Rivers and stuff like that. But then you kind of think about what happened also in Seattle, and that was another team that wanted to run the ball. But you go back to the Seattle, one of the misnomers I think about what happened there when Brian Schottenheimer was last an offensive coordinator, he wanted to let Russ cook. It was kind of Pete Carroll who said, hey, you know, maybe we should run the ball a little bit more and kind of limit it. And that's where ultimately the two kind of had a difference of opinion and kind of led to his firing there in Seattle. You know, one thing that Brian's kind of talked about a lot is, hey, we are going to run the ball. You know, we drafted an offensive lineman, you know, 12th overall. We're going to run the ball. But if you kind of look at what they did with the running backs and then you kind of add in the fact that they traded for George Pickens, one thing that I'm kind of curious and I've kind of heard could be a potential possibility is the idea of maybe actually pushing the ball a little bit downfield and maybe using Dak Prescott kind of a little bit of what was used in the second half of 2023 when he was MVP runner-up to kind of set up the run because, you know, one of the big question marks about this team right now is what are they going to do at running back? Can Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, two guys that kind of prioritize in terms of the running back market this year, can those guys kind of really, you know, handle the load and be the guys? Can Jaden Blue step up and be an X factor? I think there's a lot of questions about the running game, but right now with the passing game, it kind of looks like Shoddy Ball could actually be a little bit more taking shots rather than run the ball like Marty used to.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm thinking. And you know, plus one, Dak has weapons. I mean, 2 great wide receivers. If Jake Ferguson can get back to being a top 10 tight end, which I think a lot of people expect him to, especially going into a contract year, the passing game should be fine. But will it be the pass game setting up the run or the run game setting up the pass? And I just don't know if they have the running backs to actually do that.
Yeah, no, I think it's a huge question mark. And it's funny because when you look at the Cowboys, a lot of the questions they had this offseason were a lot of questions they had last offseason too. Hey, what's the running game going to look like? You know, what defensive line options they're going to have? And I think those are the 2 biggest kind of question marks. I mean, I throw in the secondary there a little bit too, you know, but at least they have guys that they're hoping, you know, can come back in injury and kind of be themselves. They have a lot of hopes for Savone Rebel coming and maybe being able to play week 1. Trayvon Diggs, obviously a little bit later, but they like the talent there. But running back and defensive line, those are two things that they didn't really address a ton of, right? A defensive line, they did it with quantity rather than quality, getting guys like Solomon Thomas and Peyton Turner, same kind of thing at running back. But they prioritize Javonte Williams specifically. And I think that this is someone they think, when they look at Javonte Williams, he had success his rookie season, then he tore his ACL and things fell off. Was it the ACL or was it, a scheme change and kind of going to Sean Payton's system when in reality he fit better in a little bit more of a downhill scheme, gap scheme kind of they had his rookie season. I think those are big question marks going into Oxnard that need to be answered for sure.
Joseph Hoyt from the Dallas Morning News joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Let's stay on the offensive side for a minute. Running game, passing game. If the offensive line can't hold up, I don't know how much it really matters. One of your questions in your article from yesterday, can Tyler Guyton take a step? And I think so. We had him on a couple of weeks ago during minicamp, and, he talked about, I know I wasn't very good last year. This is what I'm working on. Do you think he can make that jump that we've seen others do?
Yeah, I think there's potential for it. And I think it kind of goes back to the idea of, the accountability that Tyler Guyton's had and the changes he's made this offseason. To your point, this is a guy that changed up his diet completely. He added in a stretching regimen, nightly stretching regimen for an hour in his hot garage. He wanted to sweat a little bit and kind of doing that. And he says he feels pure heading into the season. He's worked with Tyron Smith. And when I talked to Tyron Smith recently, he said that Guyton was asking him a lot of questions specifically about placement with his punch, something that Tyron Smith was really known for in terms of pass blocking. And I think that that's something that he's really trying to dive into. So right now, this is a guy that's still raw, but he's doing the right things. He's asking the right questions. He has the athletic ability. He just hasn't had the experience or the benefit of doing it at the NFL level yet. Can he? We'll find out. But I think if he can be a serviceable starting left tackle, a guy that you can at least depend on, to not be a swinging gate out there, right? I think that could be the biggest X factor for the Dallas Cowboys this season in terms of what they could do offensively. Because to your point, if they can't block anyone, they're doing nothing.
Well, and that's it. And with 3 first-round picks and Cooper Beebe, who was a high pick, and Terrence Steele, who proved at least 1 year to generate a big contract, if he can get back to there, the Cowboys have proven they can build great offensive lines. Can this group actually live up to that expectation? And I know that OL Offensive Line Masterminds deal is going on up in Dallas. I believe you were over there for a little bit of it. Just being there, seeing it, the confidence level that those guys seem, or what confidence level are you seeing from those guys ahead of training camp in Oxnard?
Yeah, I see, I'll kind of point to what Duke Manyweather, the founder of O-Line Masterminds, kind of told me yesterday. And one thing he talked about was, hey, this is, I think, the deepest and most talented offensive line the Cowboys have had since he's been in the area. I think he's been in the area since 2018, mind you, because they've had some really good ones in years past too. But he sees a lot of depth there. And, I think he's really bullish on the idea of Terrence Steele kind of getting back to form from that ACL tear a couple of years ago. He likes the idea of Tyler Guyton taking a step. But I think that if you're looking at the Cowboys and where they should have confidence, it's that interior trio. It's Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker might be the most ready-to-go rookie in the NFL this season in terms of starting week 1 and being a guy that can play. And we haven't even seen him in pads yet at the NFL level. But this is a guy, I asked him, I don't know if you saw the video of him that went viral pushing a kid at camp, to win a shuttle race. And I asked him about that, and he's like, hey, that's just my mentality, you do anything, you have to do everything the way you want to do anything. And, he said, hey, it was the Tyler Booker football camp, and Tyler Booker can't lose at the Tyler Booker football camp. So, he has to make sure things, went his way to get a win. Duke Manyweather told me that's just who he is, man. He's going to be a leader from day one, and he reminds him a lot of Tyler Smith. So I think one X factor, though, if Tyler Guyton doesn't work out, what do they do? Because in terms of depth at the tackle position, they don't really have concrete options, in my opinion. They don't have the Chuma Edoga they had last year. I'm curious to see if things really went haywire. Would Tyler Smith get bumped out to left tackle in a pinch? I don't know. That's one of the things I'm going to be watching this year.
And I'm with you. And I think about a couple years ago when we all thought Zach Martin might have to move out the tackle, and they said no. And there are a variety of different things that we heard at the time. But, the middle of that line, the center and 2 guards look dominant. But when your tackles might be the weakest part of your offensive line, that's concerning when you're thinking about the pass game.
Yeah, no doubt, especially when you're thinking about pushing the ball downfield. And that's what that's what they brought George Pickens in to do. You know, I think this is a guy that if you look at his numbers, you know, his advanced analytics, he has an argument to be the best deep threat receiver in the NFL, right? When things go right. Obviously, the off-the-field stuff is one thing. But when things go right with him off the field, on the field, he is someone that could be Michael Gallup, but more talented in this offense, truly. And I think that's one of the things they're really excited about. I know Dak Prescott talked about this when I asked him about George Pickens earlier this week. And he said, hey, you know, George Pickens is one of those guys that can separate. But even if he's not separating, I'm still going to throw him the ball and let him be George Pickens because he's that much of an athlete. You know, he has the nickname Mr. Fantastic for a reason, right? And so I think this is a guy that, you know, is going to be a game changer for them if everything goes right off the field and in terms of kind of keeping the kumbaya nature they've had so far.
Joseph Hoyt, beat writer for the Cowboys for the Dallas Morning News here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Obviously, you're waist deep in Cowboys coverage from, you know, all the boots on the ground work that you're doing at the Star, at the different events all the time around these guys. When you watch some of the national shows or you read some of the national publications that just seem so down on the Cowboys, do you agree with that, or you go, they aren't seeing what I'm seeing?
You know, I think it's kind of a, you know, I'll say it like this, because I think there are some things that have merit that are talked nationally. You know, I think, you know, pointing at the drought that the Cowboys have had, right? And, hey, this is the number one, you know, franchise in terms of value in all of sports, right? Well, how come, you know, the offseason doesn't include a lot of big moves financially at the beginning of the free agency period? I think those things have merit. But I'll tell you, there's some times, you know, at the Star where, you know, hey, we're kind of busy and, you know, as you know, and then we'll, you know, go to press conferences, go to locker room, we'll write a story. And then I'll go on Twitter, you know, hours later and I'll be like, wait, that post or that quote went viral or that little nugget from the press conference went viral. And then I see the next morning, I'm like, wait, that's what they're talking about on you know, on the first thing on, you know, ESPN the next morning. So I think those are the things that kind of confuse me. And I think it just goes back to the Star sells. And I think it's, as long as you're talking Cowboys, you're going to get good ratings, and it doesn't matter if you're reaching for something or not. I think it's just become a fact that the Cowboys are something you can sell on a national level.
I know last year you were in Oxnard, and last year was just a weird training camp, and then it turned into a weird season. This year feels like the energy is different. I wasn't high on the Schottenheimer hire when it happened, honestly, Joseph, but as the press conference has gone on, I could see how he won Jerry and Steven over in the interview process. And I'm excited to see what he can do. He still has to win games starting in September, and I'd like to see, I don't know, wins in January. But, you know, he's won the offseason. I feel like the energy this year at camp will be a lot different. When we get to Oxnard, do you expect to see the fans' excitement back in Oxnard?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a good question, and I think it's something to watch, and because I think that there's potential for it, right? You go back to last season, as you pointed out, it's just kind of weird. And, you know, you were out there, you noticed, hey, you know, these stands aren't as full as they used to be. And, you know, one thing I found, you know, from the city of Oxnard in, you know, some of their city council minutes recommending to do the new 5-year agreement in Oxnard, you know, they pointed out that, you know, there was only 24.5 thousand fans in attendance over 17 practices. That's not a lot. And if you kind of compare it to years past, that's definitely a dip in terms of fan attention. I think there's been a lot of apathy amongst fans, especially last year, you know, knowing that Mike McCarthy and the rest of the coaches were going on a 1-year deal, kind of fighting for their lives, you know, knowing what had happened in their most recent display against the Green Bay Packers. You know, I think that there was a lot of apathy, and I think that there's still apathy. My question is, can, you know, that Schottenheimer press conference kind of, you know, winning people over, which he's done, and kind of a lot of people expected him to, you know, can that carry some weight to add some excitement, you know, with a new regime, new culture around? And then I do think, you know, the trade for George Pickens, I think that helps. I think that that's a guy that's going to be making a lot of plays in Oxnard. You know, he made a couple catches at minicamp where I kind of just said, I don't think the Cowboys have had another receiver other than CeeDee Lamb do this in quite some time. So I think that combo of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, making jump ball spectacular catches, you know, having highlights that are seen on ESPN the next day, I think that might be enough to get some people out to Oxnard that might have not been out there, you know, last season.
Yeah, and I know last year was strange, the hangover after the Green Bay playoff loss. I get all of that. But also when I see comparisons, when Jason Garrett was the head coach, his open practices were late in the afternoon. Mike McCarthy, his open practices were at 11 a.m. And it looks like Shoddy's staying with a McCarthy-type practice schedule from what I can tell. And obviously, 11 a.m. noon practice on a Tuesday is going to be less attended than one that starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point, too, to include because it's true. I mean, hey, if you're in the afternoon, you might be able to sneak a little bit early off work. You might be able to work remotely from, Oxnard's practice fields, as long as you stay online. Take the kids out there for a summer kind of day in the middle of the week. That's kind of harder to do at 11 a.m. like they're kind of expecting to have this year in training camp. So I think it's one factor for sure. But I do think the apathy, that's kind of been surrounding the Cowboys fans and building for quite some time. I think that was definitely felt last offseason too. So we'll see if it carries over this time in Oxnard.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is how much – what I don't hear, and, I've been doing this a long time as of you, Super Bowl. I don't hear anybody saying that. I think most Cowboy fans say, yeah, the Eagles, Washington, and they're the third best team in the NFC East. Can they get to 10 wins, which doesn't even guarantee a playoff spot with a 17-game schedule, but better. And when I see Vegas, win totals at either 7.5 or 8.5, I'm like, and that feels like easy money, but then it's Vegas. Am I the sucker? Do I have sucker on my forehead when I take the over when I'm in Vegas in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I said the safest bet in all of football last season was taking the Cowboys over, and I believe it was at 9.5 last season, and that clearly didn't work out. So I think that Vegas, setting it low. I think there's reasons for it. I think a lot of people just don't know what Brian Schottenheimer is going to do. I've been kind of saying this in the beginning, and I after getting to know Brian Schottenheimer a little bit the last few years, him being in the building, I always thought that he would be a successful head coach eventually. That was he just kind of has that feel. He might be a better head coach and a CEO type guy than a play caller, and I know he's calling plays this season too. But I think for the Cowboys, this is a team with their current talent level and their deficiencies. This is a team that could push for a wild card spot, I think, right? This is a team where if George Pickens, is a top 15, top 12 receiver in football to go with CeeDee Lamb, like this is a passing attack that could be reminiscent of 2023 when they had one of the top offenses in the NFL. And I think defensively there's some questions too. But I think that they could push for it. So, I think the 7.5 feels low, but hey, I was wrong last year. So,
and Joseph, as we visit with Joseph Hoyt from the Dallas Morning News here on the Blitz, you say that being around Mike McCarthy the way you were, and Schottenheimer as a coordinator is one thing. What's been the biggest difference you've noticed about Schottenheimer, the head coach?
Yeah, it's a great question because actually I think the thing that a lot of people will tell you is there hasn't been a difference in him. I think the best word that people have told me consistently about Brian Schottenheimer is his authenticity. And I think that even in the media, to be honest, that kind of comes across. Us journalists are very cynical. We say, hey, the culture is really nice right now, but what happens when 3 straight losses happen at some point this season? And, George Pickens is mad because he's not getting enough targets, and, people are struggling and the national media is coming at him, wonder how good the culture is going to be kind of then. I will say the energy has been up, significantly early on. They start practices with, a lot of energy. The cynic in me wonders how much energy there's going to be, on day 1 of minicamp versus day, 3 of practice in week 15. I think that's something I question. But, hey, Schottenheimer is someone that I think is very authentic. Locker rooms, I've been saying locker rooms are the biggest BS detector there are, and I think he's kind of passing that test right now. So I think if the Cowboys can, they don't have to win a Super Bowl this year, in my opinion, to kind of get fans back on the boat a little bit. I think if they can push for the playoffs, potentially make it, show some hope for the future that maybe the drought could end, I think that's all Brian Schottenheimer has to go out and do. But there's a lot of pressure to get that done, I think, too.
As we get ready for Cowboys at training camp, if you're not already, make sure you're following Joseph on Twitter at Joe J. Hoyt, the lead beat writer for the Dallas Cowboys for the Dallas Morning News. We'll see you in Oxnard in a couple weeks, my friend.
Sounds good, Jason. I'll see you out there, and thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Joseph Hoyt on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. It's crazy. The Chargers rookies report tomorrow. The Cowboys report to Oxnard on the 22nd. We, the San Antonio Sports Star crew, our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage begins. We land in California on Saturday the 26th. First padded practice is on the 27th, and then Monday the 28th. You'll start hearing stories from the Jim Beam Beach House because it's going to be fantastic. Football season is right around the corner, even though we're still days away from the games that matter. Now, we got a trip planned to Vegas in August 21st and 22nd. The Blitz will be live that Thursday and Friday at Circa Las Vegas. And then, of course, we're staying for the weekend because it's the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest weekend. You want to go? Well, of course you do. Book your flights, book your rooms, whether you're there the whole time or part of the time, whatever. We always have a great time on these trips to Circa Las Vegas, where not everything actually stays in Vegas, but it's a lot of fun. You want to be there. You want to go meet Sydney. Promo code BLITZ at sasportstar.com. There's a link there, discounted room rates, or when you go to book your rooms, just put in Blitz at Circa Las Vegas or at the D. It is incredible, the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend. Question for you. If you had a direct deposit from your employer, your paycheck, and it was a lot more money than you thought you were making, would you say anything? For 8 months? Happened to a lady who's now on her way to jail. We'll explain coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August, and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we don't just represent crash victims, we fight for them. When an accident impacts your life, my team and I are committed to obtaining the justice you deserve. We approach every case with dedication because each one is personal to us. Our promise, no payment unless we win. Call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So, I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Whether
it's day or night. Hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
Dallas Cowboys All-Pro pass rusher Micah Parsons will have his jersey retired as his high school alma mater in Pennsylvania announced no one will ever wear his number 23 again for the Harrisburg Cougars. It was a great start to the Las Vegas portion of Summer League play for the Spurs as they trounced the 76ers 111-70. Up next, they'll take on number 1 overall pick Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow at 3. Number 2 overall pick Dylan Harper did not play for the Spurs last night, but is expected to make his debut tomorrow. And in another NBA news, the Oklahoma City Thunder are burning through that money after winning a title as they re-signed Jalen Williams to a 5-year rookie max extension worth up to $287 million.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Joe Reinagel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Pleasure producing as always. You just gave me a weird look. What was the weird look for? Because you're not producing? You're just sitting back there? You actually had to work harder today than most days.
It happens.
It does. He has had to work harder today. Don't know why, but he does. Maybe. It's Friday. Cannot wait. But we are so close to football season. I mean, honestly, it feels like a football Friday, even though we're in the middle of July, right? I mean, every TV show that I've watched today, it's either been Summer League highlights of Cooper Flagg and Bronny James, or or various football talk, which is great. Like the other day was all about Big 12 football. Today it's all this NFL stuff, and I'm eating all of it up. I am so ready to get there. You got and it's also list season. There's this list and that list, and your top 10 tight ends. I was reading that earlier, going. All right. Yeah, I mean, well, whatever, but you're eating it all up. And I think part of it, I'm ready to get the season, but also, I don't know why today of all days, every fantasy thing I've ever signed up for sent an email today. Does the Fantasy Football Union get together and say on 7-Eleven, let's send everybody their stuff? I got emails today about, I don't know, services you could buy, which I can't imagine people still do that. They were popular in the 90s. They still have your email address and are sending you stuff. I've never paid for any kind of fantasy service, but...
You just get them on the show.
Huh?
You just get them on the show and ask them then.
Well, there's... No, but like the different services, like for... There was one today, I want to say, if you buy it now, it's $99, or it's like $179 during the season, and they'll send you weekly rankings. There's too much of that stuff's available for free online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's spending $200 on that?
Somebody that used it once and won and thinks it's their godsend, I guess. I saw some weird stuff today that, talking about football season. One of them was 50 days away from our first Longhorn game.
Is that all?
That's it. And as I was, the ESPN score widget has your favorite teams up top. I noticed, the Cowboys-Rams game is on the widget now. We're less than a month away. That's on 8-9.
It is. I appreciate James Pledger just admitting something inadvertently that he probably doesn't want you to know. He is a Cowboys fan.
No.
Oh, you just admitted it. My favorite team is right there on the widget, and it said the game is there. You didn't tell me the Texans-Vikings game is right next to it.
It is, but
no. You said my favorite teams and Cowboys.
The first one, because it's the first game that happens to take place on my favorites.
See, on my favorites, I've got Texas Rangers Stros tonight. Then it's got Houston, Minnesota, and then Dallas Rams. Because the Houston game on 8-9 is at 3 Central. The Cowboys-Rams game is at 6 Central. But I think you just admitted that even though you talk a bunch of crap about this Houston team, you're really a Cowboys fan. That's what I heard. That's what everybody heard. My favorites team, Cowboys, listed right up there.
Or we talk so much Cowboys, I keep it on my favorite, so I get alerts when something happens so that I can add it to the rundown.
Don't let facts ruin a good story. You just admitted you're a closet Cowboy fan.
I also have the Spurs on here as well.
Well, again, the Spurs aren't showing up on my.
No, there's some league games don't show up on the widget for whatever reason.
I
don't understand that.
For the record, and I need you to turn this into a promo. You saying my favorite team, the Cowboys, on a widget. That needs to be a promo.
It won't.
Well, it needs to be.
Well, it won't.
Who else can make a promo around here?
Nobody.
Edwin?
No.
Why do you dig on Edwin that way? Why would you take a shot on for a dude that's enjoying a day off?
Because he's enjoying a day off and I'm not.
Well, that's my fault. that truly is my fault. We should all be off today.
And look, I've been higher on the Cowboys than most Cowboy fans this year. I think they're going to be much better than a lot of people think, and I said it when he was hired. You're going to love Brian Schottenheimer.
But people think you're full of crap because when non-Cowboy fans say something nice, they just assume there's a massive level of snark that goes along with it.
And they can assume whatever they
want.
But
I need a promo of you saying on my favorites list, the Cowboys game is next because you just said the Cowboys are your favorite.
I'm working on it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, make that a promo.
I'm on it.
I mean, you don't often get promos, Pledge. Here's your shot.
All right, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Yeah, well, we'll get that in 2038.
I'll put a work order in for it.
Yeah, good luck with that. Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
I would imagine 99% of the people listening right now get direct deposit, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there was a time, and he talked about it on air, so I don't think I'm saying something that I shouldn't. But old David Chancellor from News 4, when he worked here, man, I miss working with Dave. He's a fun dude. But he's a little old school.
Little?
And David Chancellor liked to get a paper check. He liked to go to the bank and cash the check. Now, there was another guy that used to work here, and I don't know if I can say Bob Brown's name because his wife might get mad, but he used to also get a paper check, but that he could go cash it and then take his allowance out so his wife didn't really know how much the check was. Whatever your motivation is, but most people, it's direct deposit, right? I don't know about you, but on payday, I check to make sure it's there, right? We all have access to it on our phones instantly. You see it when it's pending and you see it when it's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So down in Florida, this is a bizarre story. Now, you can understand sometimes things could happen and maybe you get the wrong check and you'd be on the phone immediately. But would you? Like, Pledge, if your check all of a sudden was a lot more than you thought it was supposed to be, would you say something or would you just ignore it and go spend?
Finally got my raise I deserved.
Mm-hmm. They
appreciated my hard work.
There's a woman down in Florida. Her name is Jessica. Not Jessica, Jessica Arua. She's been arrested. She pocketed more than $400,000 of someone else's salary. Mind you, she's a receptionist. A receptionist that makes $60,000 a year. So she started getting direct deposits for somebody else that worked there. You see that Aggie helmet on our desk here if you're watching on YouTube? This should be encouragement to go to vet school because she was getting the veterinarian's salary in her direct deposit. Apparently, the vet makes $450,000 a year. The receptionist makes $60,000. A couple things about this story that are bizarre. She never said anything. She's working for somebody that she has known since she was 9. So a longtime family friend that gave her a job. She thought I was getting a bonus. I don't know. One time, maybe. You know what's crazier about this whole thing? The vet never noticed because the vet never checked their bank account to make sure they were getting paid. And I guess everything's on auto, or I don't know. My wife takes care of all the bills. I have no idea. Vet didn't realize something went right till a credit card got declined. And they were like, what do you mean it's declined? I always have money. What are you, nuts? Woman's getting arrested. And because she thought it was supposed to be hers, or at least that's what she's claiming, she has bought stuff. She's given stuff to family in Argentina. She has spent a lot. There's all kinds of stuff. She can only repay about $200,000. I don't know what's crazier. The vet that had no idea that they weren't getting paid what they were supposed to be getting paid because they never checked their bank account. That's when you're making FU money and you don't care. Or the receptionist thinking, this is a pretty good job. This is a lot more than what they said I was going to make.
My question when I saw this story is, how is it on her for their mistake?
So that would be your defense?
I'm not saying it's my defense. I'm just asking a legitimate question. Let's say, remember when Ryan Eagle we did the thing and everybody was requesting Venmoing?
Oh, yeah.
He accidentally accepts one of those. Doesn't know it. Accident, it happens. All of a sudden, he's missing money. Can he dispute that? Because it's already, whether it was a mistake or not.
I'm not sure where you're going. You're not making sense to me, but I know what you're saying. It's her fault because she accepted it and spent it and it wasn't hers, right? It's not finders keepers. A one-time thing, sure. But even then, even on your bank, right? If they deposited it and it's not yours, they're going to come and get it. And if you spent it, even though you knew it wasn't yours or it just miraculously appeared in your account, no different than if all of a sudden you looked at your account and money was missing, you call the bank, you want the bank to make it right. At some point, it's going to get corrected, and you know that wasn't yours. And she kind of admitted she knew it wasn't hers. And not kind of, when the cops called her, she apparently broke down. Oh, I knew this day would come. Right? Sure. I mean, so I get what you're saying. Dude, you paid it, but that wasn't your agreement, and you knew that. I mean, if it were a couple $100, no big deal. I just don't know what's more bizarre. She never said anything to somebody that she's known since she was 9.
That's the weird part.
Right? I mean, the other part is the vet never realized that their salary, I don't know if it's man or woman, but that the salary wasn't getting paid.
That's the weirdest part.
I mean,
I can't imagine making that kind of money to where I'd never have to check my account.
Me neither. I mean, it's like, holy, I mean,
I think if I was making that money, I'd check my account just because.
There's a lot of things there. It's a very bizarre. Of course, it's Florida. And any of your kids that are saying, I want to be a vet, after reading this article, yes, encourage them to go be a vet, especially apparently in the horse business because they're large animal vets. I knew vets did well. I didn't know they did that well. I mean, you do so well, you don't notice you're missing $400,000 over the course of a year?
And I thought car repairs were expensive.
Mm-hmm. It was a bizarre story. You're a golfer.
I am.
Callaway is releasing a limited edition Happy Gilmore hockey stick putters with tube sock club covers. This seems like something you would have in your bag.
They're way late on this.
Well, of course.
But also, it's not right either. The original Happy Gilmore hockey stick putter was an actual Odyssey hockey stick that was long. Like, that's what I want. If they were releasing like a Happy Gilmore edition putter, that's what I want. The one that looks like the hockey stick, the long-faced stick putter.
Uh-huh. That's not what you're getting?
That's not what you're getting. This one's smaller. It looks...
But you get a sock.
You get a sock.
For $500. I want a hockey stick-looking driver. That's really what I want them to come up with. It looks more like a stick for field hockey and not ice hockey. But my golf swing looks more like a hockey swing. Not that I was ever a hockey player, but when I played hockey, that kind of slap shot, I wouldn't mind a hockey stick driver. That's what they need to come up with. Hybrid. Although that looks fun. I mean, when you're near the green, you're 40 yards from the green, you could use the hockey stick putter to putt up there instead of trying to use a wedge.
See, that's the one I want.
Yeah, I know what you want. And that's great radio for you to show me a picture and say, that's it. I know what you want.
Everybody that's seen Happy Gilmore knows the putter I'm talking about.
I mean, just order a hockey stick and a tube sock. It'd be far less than $500. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what hockey sticks run, but tube socks aren't that much.
Mm-hmm. You would know.
Yep.
You would know. The Spurs dominate last night in Las Vegas. They put a whooping on Philly, 111-70. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on The Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
Rob's toes are like, I've got gorilla foot, I think is the best. They're almost permanently put into a hook 'em.
That's what it kind of is. I have my right foot. It's turning into a hook 'em. I think it's more of a rock and roll. One more Aggie curse, and thou shalt have right-footed Longhorn.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Satan, are you there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you did the Metallica backwards lyrics.
Yeah.
Did you do Missy's backwards lyrics?
She and I were talking, just hanging, keeping it real.
Keeping it real, huh?
I said, you should put a backwards message in there. And she asked me, is that really going to work? I said, show.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Gomez Law Firm has been fighting for the rights of San Antonians for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. What is something you see often as a personal injury attorney and protecting your clients?
The one thing we always see without fault in a case is that the insurance company will always reach out to them soon after the collision, and they try to get them to agree to a low settlement. They try to get them to agree to signing a piece of paper. They want them essentially to sign their rights away without ever even consulting with an attorney. Right? In the grand scheme of things, if you sign a piece of paper, you're signing your future interest away. So that's why it's so important to call the Gomez Law Firm, because we make sure we protect your rights, and you're not signing your life away, you're not signing your rights away.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then call the Gomez Law Firm first. 210-736-4040 or visit joegomezlaw.com. Protect your family and protect your rights.
And remember, Gomez Law Fights.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, faucets, vanities, doors, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a member? Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Come check out the new Lion and Rose Dominion location with the Blitz this Thursday. The Blitz will be broadcasting live for the Harley-Davidson Javelina Bike Night. We'll have food, vendors, tons of giveaways, including your chance to win Queensryche tickets. Take advantage of their great happy hour specials, $2.50 drafts, $5 wines and wells, and a long list of $5 appetizers. That's the Blitz this Thursday starting at 2 at the Lion and Rose Dominion location off I-10 after the Dominion exit.
Woohoo! Hear that? That's what having fewer hot flashes and night sweats can sound like. Veoza is the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment FDA approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms, also known as hot flashes and night sweats, due to menopause. Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
94.1.
On a night that was all about Cooper Flagg and LeBron James, it was David Jones Garcia that once again stole the show. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. If you're listening on one of the apps, online, however you're listening on this Friday, appreciate you tuning in to the Blitz. Joe Reinagle still off. He'll be back on Monday. I'm Jason Minix. The Las Vegas portion of Summer League got underway after a couple of days in California. And there is always more excitement around Las Vegas because, well, it's Vegas. Packed building, courtside seats for Bronny versus Cooper were going for about $3,000. But the Spurs game, the appetizer, if you will, less billing, but and really not a good game. There were some really good Summer League games yesterday. A couple of buzzer beaters. Had a dude actually win a jump ball and then score on the wrong basket. Summer League. Let's learn how to tie your shoes. You got, I mean, look, you got a 50-50 shot of getting it in the right basket. A brain fart. I'm glad that didn't happen to one of the Spurs. I'm glad that didn't happen to one of the highly touted rookies. But it did happen. That guy will take crap for that for the rest of his life, scoring in the wrong basket. As far as the Spurs go, domination. And this David, what's his name? David Jones Garcia. I don't know if he's got a spot in San Antonio, although GM Brian Wright obviously had some nice things to say about him during a halftime interview on ESPN.
It's been fun to watch, the first couple games out in San Francisco and then extending here. He's in a great comfort zone. He can score at all three levels, but he's also done a great job of drawing extra defenders and making plays for teammates as well. So he's got it going tonight.
And again, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 assists. And it's not like he played a ton of minutes. I mean, David Jones-Garcia did all of that in 18 minutes of action. Now, granted, this game was over at halftime. Carter Bryant, the one everybody wants to watch, not named Dylan Harper, who will play on Saturday. Let me rephrase that. Who's expected to play on Saturday against Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. Carter, again, offensively, struggling. 5 points on 1 of 6 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. Defensively, though, he was solid. Had 3 blocks, had some nice rebounds. And one of the things that you could see in the game, and granted, when you're up big, that helps you just relax a little bit. But Mike Noyes, the Summer League head coach, did talk about, Carter Bryant finally playing relaxed basketball.
And it happens to a lot of players. They care so much. And he's one of those guys, he cares so much about not his success, helping the team. And sometimes you got to just relax a little bit. He did that tonight. He was terrific.
And again, I think you see that. We all want to see Dylan Harper. Apparently that's going to happen tomorrow. Carter Bryant project. But it's so hard to judge dudes on Summer League performance. Cooper Flagg last night wasn't great, and that's being kind. He even talked about, worst game that he's ever played, Cooper Flagg. Carter Bryant has said, and Mike Noyes has said, nobody's going to say he's been great out here. But is he doing enough of the little things? Brian Wright, during the ESPN halftime interview that he did, talked about what he is seeing from Carter Bryant.
Yeah, I think oftentimes when you see young guys, they come to Summer League and they're very focused on the offensive end of the floor. And I think you saw tonight, he has a very mature approach where he doesn't force things offensively. He takes what the defense is giving him, and then defensively, he's a menace. He's active with his hands. He's guarding all over the floor, coming weak side and blocking shots and protecting the rim. So we're really excited about his growth and development and what he can add to our team long term.
A menace on defense. And again, long-term play. Defense and improving defense has clearly been the priority for the San Antonio Spurs. You look at, like, we all wanted them. I've been saying it for months. Give me a sharp-shooting three-point shooter. They haven't really done that, although maybe Riley Minix can be that guy, maybe. But they haven't added that from the outside. There's a couple guys that might be able to do that. But clearly what Brian Wright said last night during his halftime interview, the priority was helping Wemby in the front court and improving the defense when he's not on the floor.
Yeah, I think a big focus for us is how we maintained our defense as the game went on. And, when Victor was out of the game, and we had some struggles when he was out defensively. And so one of the things we wanted to shore up was our front court. And we think going out and adding Luke Cornett and now Kelly Olynyk, in addition to the guys that we retained, have really helped, secure a front line that is formidable, can protect the rim, can defensive rebound, and really fuel our transition game. So we're excited about what he brings on the court, but even more so off the court too. Great culture guy, great in the locker room. So we felt like we tried to address those things early on this summer.
And again, I like the moves. They're doing it differently than I would have done, but I'm not mad at what they've done. Clearly where their priorities are different than me and most of you listening right now on what we thought the Spurs needed. They're doing their research and they're looking at what do we need in good fits that don't compromise the assets they have for the future. Now, I know everybody has seen this Bleacher Report trade scenario that's floating around involving LeBron James. It ain't going to happen. The Spurs aren't going to make a move for LeBron James. Fun to talk about. Now, you look at this projected trade proposal that is coming out of Bleacher Report. It seems doable, but would you actually do this for 1 year of LeBron James? I'll say any team that has LeBron is going to have a chance. According to this nutty, let's throw spaghetti against the wall and see if it sticks trade report from Bleacher Report, the Spurs would get LeBron James and only have to give up Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Harrison Barnes, and Atlanta's 27 first-round pick. Well, I look at what Atlanta's been doing this offseason. The value of that pick is not what it was. So, sure, they can have that. You want Keldon? Sure. Jeremy, take him. It ain't going to happen. It'd be interesting. It'd be fun. It ain't going to happen. I think there was more of a realistic shot at getting Kevin Durant than there is of the Spurs going after LeBron James. Honestly, fun to talk about. Weird to see the Spurs mentioned in something like that. But knowing how the Spurs do business, no, it ain't going to happen. But I know 17 of you have sent that to me on Instagram today. Did you see this? Yes. What do you think? No. I just don't see it. I mean, you're saying there's a chance? According to reports, they did make an offer for Kevin Durant. There was interest. I'm sure that they probably are. Well, now these boys are in Vegas. How much time in Vegas do you think they would spend on this? Now, granted, their Vegas trips, they're the business trip for them. But honestly, how would you counter that? You know, if the Lakers called and said, we want Keldon, Harrison, Jeremy, and that Atlanta pick, do you say, well, you can't have Keldon. The rest of it, let's make it happen. I mean, because you got to counter. You don't just say yes.
Do you think it would be Keldon they'd try to keep or Jeremy? Because it feels like the organization is high on Jeremy.
You got to make salaries work, so maybe you have to throw in Keldon. I don't know. I don't. Doesn't matter. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
The one thing I don't want to see leaving is Harrison Barnes because shooter.
Well, and look, Harrison Barnes is very tradable, but you look at what he has done on the court and in the community, it would suck to see him leave. It would suck to see Keldon leave. But kind of like Blake Wesley or Malachi Branham, dudes, some of these guys have to go, right? I know some of you guys love Jeremy Sohan. I don't. I like him, but I don't know I don't know how he fits. I don't see how he truly does fit. I didn't understand it on draft night, and I sure as hell don't understand it now. And if you could, I wonder where else would Jeremy's game fit in today's NBA if it wasn't for San Antonio, right? I mean, he is a good fit here, but not a great fit. And the way things are changing, he's less of a fit, but I don't know. But when you see the LeBron to San Antonio trade rumors, please stop sending it to me. I've seen it, and I don't care. It ain't going to happen. Can't get too worked up over that one. Now watch, they'll pull that deal off just because nobody expects them to do it, because that's what the Spurs do. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. A couple of weeks away from Cowboys training camp in Oxnard. What are your big questions heading into camp? We'll talk about it with Blogging the Boys managing editor RJ Ochoa. He joins us next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're flying solo, but there's so much to talk about. Spurs are in the middle of their summer league run. The Cowboys got to do something about Micah. We're going to look at it all and get ready for a fine week of fun. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Carbach Brewing kicking off the summer with their Music to Your Beer campaign to keep you listeners in San Antonio in a Love Street state of mind. Love Street's got 2 great giveaways going on. Carbach's giving away a custom pair of Love Street Air Force Ones designed by a local artist. Get you stepping into the summer in style. On top of that, you can head down to your favorite watering hole and look for the Love Street Beer Rep. They might be able to hook you up with 2 credits to your Touch Tunes account so you can get the whole bar celebrating summer. You want details on that? Check it out at carbachbrewing.com. And if Love Street's not your thing, that's all right. There's something for everybody in the Carbach lineup. Hopadillo, fantastic IPA. That's their flagship IPA. You can even find the Double Dillo right now. That's Hopadillo Imperial for a limited time, but you can find that out and about in the wild as well. Ziegenbach celebrating the great taste of Texas summer. Chance for listeners to win a grill for their backyard. You can find that online at Carbach Brewing as well. Check them out, guys. carbachbrewing.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Join the Blitz live this Thursday at Lion and Rose at the Dominion for the Harley-Davidson Javelina Bike Night with food, drinks, vendors, and giveaways. That's this Thursday, starting at 2 at Lion and Rose Dominion, just off I-10 after the Dominion exit.
94. Healthcare professionals and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Cowboys at training camp just a couple of weeks away. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Joe Reinagel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Our good friend R.J. Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Probably has spent his morning ordering a Happy Gilmore hockey stick putter and then diving into Cowboy content. RJ Ochoa on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Forks up. Happy Friday, my friend.
That's right. Forks up. Go Gators. And I guess I should say now that Happy Gilmore is a Bruins fan. And so he and I park our cars in the same garage in that sense. I actually told you when I went and saw the Bruins play the Wild that I wanted a cap, partly, to plant my flag and pick a favorite team, but also literally because Happy Gilmore wore one. So, that's my why.
And again, you have studied all the Boston Bruins history. You've probably couldn't name 8 players, but that's
there's the one picture of that guy diving, that Bobby Orr.
Bobby Orr, yes.
Hey.
Yes. That's like saying Roger Staubach was great back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was that guy that threw the Hail Mary? Was it Roger?
Yeah. He was in the Army, I believe. So.
Go Navy. Yeah. Beat Army. You understand the assignment. RJ, I mean, obviously it's been an interesting offseason for the Cowboys after last year. All of last year, from losing to the Packers in the playoffs, not doing anything in the offseason, to Mike McCarthy being a lame duck head coach. When we got to Oxnard, and we talked about it in Oxnard, it was just weird, and the season was weird. This offseason has been completely different, yet there still seems to be a slight degree of fan apathy, and I'm not sure if it's apathy or, man, I'm just not sure if I want to jump in. I'm dipping my toe in the water, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome to be the Packers and know that you broke a team the way that they broke the Cowboys, right? Like this team, I don't know when they got reassembled. I don't know if they technically are, but at the very least, to your point, it felt like the front office started to at least pick up the pieces this offseason. They just left them on the floor all of last calendar year. I've been covering this team professionally for a decade. I've obviously been a fan of them all my life. I can't tell you another year that was like last year. It was willful, intentional, consciously driven toxicity that surrounded the team at every turn. And also to your point, I think that there's a callousness for people. I don't know anyone who, and I say this, really with great respect for how you live, that enjoys football season like you do, right? Like football season is such a part of your life and other people's lives, and how you delegate your plans. And we're going to go here, and we're going to pregame here, and we're going to this, and we're going to catch this game before so we can be there and catch the Uber, whatever. And I think that some of that stuff just like fell on the priority for people last year. I think it was the coupling of how they lost and the toxicity that the front office kind of stirred into the pot. And that, I mean, dude, we're coming up on the 30-year anniversary. I think people, they only know this way of life. At least there's an entire generation and then some that have lived this way. And so I think people are reluctant to believe because they've already had all their friends make all the jokes at their expense, and they're just kind of tired of the same old song and dance.
RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I totally get the Cowboys are a different animal than every other NFL franchise that's out there. The drought, the expectations. I do think the Cowboys will be a lot better this year than last year, although hard not to be if Dak is healthy. I mean, Dak could end up winning Comeback Player of the Year, which is an award nobody really wants to win, but because that means it was really bad the year before, right? But at the same time, I think a lot of Cowboy fans are realistic about where they are. Cautiously optimistic might be the word. Philadelphia, you look at the NFC, it's in the rules. You can't have a repeat winner. But is Washington going to regress a little bit? All those one-score games they won last year, are they losses this year? Does Jaden Daniels have a sophomore slump? But I do think the biggest questions, we don't know enough about Brian Schottenheimer as a head coach to really know how good is he going to be, not only as a head coach, but a play caller.
Yeah, it is strange how, and I know you recall the night they hired him, I mean, that was like DEFCON 1. I mean, that was truly, our pets' heads are falling off levels of panic. And nothing really happened to change that, like between then and this moment. Yet everywhere you look, there's all this optimism. I guess the thing that happened is he had a chance to sit behind a microphone and, he kind of, oohed and awed, and we're all kind of like, humana, Brian, like, what more can you say? How else can you dazzle us? And that's just like the CEO part of the job that Jason Garrett was fit to handle. To your point, again, the guy has talked about, like, cuts and motions, and that's got people tripping all over themselves, and that's cool, but we have no actual data to support this. Like, we have simply looked at the menu, and it's one of those, like, fancy schmancy ones that doesn't have any pictures, right? Like, we have no idea what we're about to be served. And in a couple of weeks' time, that will change to some degree, because training camp will start to kind of blow some of the dust off this thing. But, I mean, it's also unique because he hasn't called plays in an extremely long time. It is as unorthodox of a situation as you can unfold. I mean, Jerry has truly outdone himself with a Kobayashi Maru in this particular case. I know you know exactly what that is.
No, sure. The guy that eats off the kids' menu because he needs pictures to order food. RJ, when you look at that, and I'm with you, I was not excited at all about Brian Schottenheimer when he was hired. I wasn't excited about the coaching search that Jerry had. But this offseason, Schottenheimer has changed my mind. I get how he won over Jerry and Steven in the interview process, and granted, they knew him. And I think about the guy that I've seen the last couple of years as an assistant, and when you're an assistant, it's different, right? I mean, it's kind of like watching Dan Quinn when he was the defensive coordinator. And I know I was sitting in Oxnard with you, and we were like, man, look at how intense he is in these defensive drills. How is he going to be different as a head coach becomes the biggest question. Everybody that I talk to in Dallas say that, at least to this point, the Schotty that we knew is the Schotty that is still today. The head coaching job hasn't changed him.
Yeah, and I mean, to his credit, I mean, he has. You can't do anything through July 11th, right? But the things that you can do, he has done, right? Like, if we acknowledge that none of this matters in the grand scheme, he is still of the tests being put in front of him, he is passing them with flying colors. And who knows? I mean, maybe they truly did stumble into things, right? Like, the greatest story ever told is the Fellowship of the Ring. Frodo was this, feeble, small creature and wound up being the most important, most critical to delivering the entire world from evil relative to the way that Tolkien kind of laid it out. And so I don't know if Brian Schottenheimer is our Frodo. I've always thought that Dak was. The story just kind of made more sense that way. But it is easy to see how a room can fall for this guy, can fall in love with him. I think the thing that has impressed me the most about him is I have not really ever heard him talk about his father from a inspirational standpoint. And I say that with respect. Obviously, that the man has an incredible amount of respect for his father, one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. But I've heard him talk more about Pete Carroll and Steve Spurrier and the football influences that they were on his life as opposed to his father, which is just, you're not kind of used to hearing things. In fact, Mike McCarthy talked more about Marty Schottenheimer's football influence on him than Brian has, which is just, again, part of the unique nature that this particular man is to be the team's head coach.
Although I do think my opinion when I've references like that, because he's trying to be his own man and not Marty's son.
Right.
And I get that. I think it's very conscious on his part and probably smart. But at the same time, he's got to be his own, references to Marty Ball. Are we going to see him run the ball? Is he going to be like his dad, or is he going to be on his own? Are they going to use the passing game to open up the run game, or vice versa? Now, I look at the running backs that they have, and then you add in a George Pickens. I'm thinking they're going to use the pass game to open up the run game.
Yeah, Bill Danaher is one of the greatest coaches to ever live, but you don't have to run the ball a million times to be able to effectively run the ball. You don't have to set up the pass. That's kind of an antiquated view of play action or modern offenses. It's often said that play action is the passing game setting up the run, the way that you just did. And, Mina Kimes is so smart. She made this point this week on our podcast that Not that it doesn't matter who the running back is for the Cowboys, but that it's a much more, malleable thing when you have threats like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens opening things up. You can stack the box against the Cowboys. Now, to be fair, people weren't stacking the box against Zeke Elliott last year, and that wasn't helping him in any sort of way. Like, you have to have competent players back there, and I don't know that any of them are incompetent, but I don't know who the most competent is right now. It's a weird kind of grab bag of, is Javonte Williams going to be like? Because I think right now, if I came back from the future and told you, hey, Jason, Javonte Williams led the team in carries, or Miles Sanders did, or Jaden Blue did, or heck, Phil Moffitt, I think any of those potential realities are all conceivable. I think you can see one path for each of them, which is why it's weird that we're not super confident. We're just in this kind of state of tentativeness overall relative to the position.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joining us here on The Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Obviously, offense is always the storylines. Defense was bad last year, and granted, injuries had a lot to do with that, and reasons or excuses, but especially the defensive line. The run defense wasn't good at all. And if you're watching Quarterback on Netflix, you realize all three of the quarterbacks featured torched the Dallas Cowboys. And so you see a lot of bad Cowboy defense when you're watching Quarterback on Netflix. So if you're a Cowboy fan, it sometimes can be a tough watch. Have they done enough in your mind on the defensive side, whether it's the influence that Matt Eberflus is going to have or the personnel that they brought in, to see significant upgrades from that defensive unit?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all would love, obviously, if DeMarvion Overshown were healthy, and I think you have to probably assume that he's not going to play at all. And if he does, you just kind of treat that as icing on the cake. But it's the Micah Parsons show, and I don't often believe in addition by subtraction, and I hate to frame the DeMarcus Lawrence departure that way. I really do not care what he said on his way out. I don't think any less of him, whatever. But I recall before he left, before free agency, around the Super Bowl, Micah had a post, and he noted, like, look, we're going to have some guys leaving that are going to kind of open the door. We just kind of need this fresh blood. And I don't think that DeMarcus or Zach Martin or Tyron Smith were failures, but I do think that this group, and specifically this defense, has just kind of been in need of just moving the furniture around type of thing. And I think that that's what happens with DeMarcus Lawrence leaving. This is Micah's show. This is Micah and Trayvon Diggs. They are not only the best players on the defense, they're the elder statesmen, and there are now opportunities for new young bucks, the Marshawn Nealons of the world, and the newbies like, Jack Sanborn is kind of an underrated free agent signing. And the trades, I don't know how well Kyrie Elam's going to play. I know he's a Florida Gator, so I trust that immensely as of late. I don't know what Kenneth Murray's going to be like, but I know that they raise the floor a lot. And when you raise the floor and you have perennial home run hitters like Micah Parsons, I trust you to be serviceable when Dak Prescott's leading the offense on the other side of things.
And for those that don't know, a little behind the curtains, while you did finish and technically graduate, although you haven't walked the stage yet with your undergrad from Arizona State, you've already signed yourself up for more punishment, study, doing your master's program at the University of Florida.
That's right, yeah. So Brian Schottenheimer's a Gator. So, he's part of the 96 national championship team, by the way. He's very proud of that. And so, I've absorbed that national title as part of my overall sports prowess. You're talking to a national champion from a college basketball standpoint right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a great day to be a Florida Gator.
I mean, you're going to start wearing visors on a daily basis. I mean, and again, you give me crap for having a lot of hockey teams. That's your colleges are A&M, Arizona State, and Florida. Now, if they were all in other
A&M
conferences,
when it's convenient.
huh?
Yeah.
All right.
A&M when it's convenient. They've fallen by the wayside. I mean, if they're on, if Rob Thompson's been kind to me lately, you know what I mean? I have no problem putting some positive energy behind the Aggies.
You are a former student.
That's true. You know what I mean? But I mean, in terms of pecking order, they've fallen down. That's the way life goes. They're my Las Vegas Golden Knights.
When A&M plays Florida, what shirt are you wearing?
That's not even a question. That's a Florida Gator shirt, Florida Gator visor. My son's in his Florida Gator shirt. I've got my wife got me Florida Gator Nike Pegasus shoes for Father's Day. So, I mean, literally in that sense, head to toe.
You are bought in. Aside from Cowboy gear, it's Gator gear or Arizona State gear or Boston Bruins gear, or at least your hockey putter. As we head to training camp, what's the one thing that you are most curious to see from the Cowboys, not on day one, but maybe before that first preseason game, and certainly before they break camp and return to Dallas, leaving Oxnard?
I really am curious to see how they keep the juice going, because they haven't really been able to do that. I mean, you know better than anybody that sometimes camp can, run a little stale, run a little dry, and even in the beautiful, weather, even under the perfect sunshine. But you get out there for a while, and it's easy to kind of fall into like, oh, Denzel's here today, Miles Teller was here yesterday, and Jessica Alba's coming next week. Like, it all just kind of, gets monotonous. And that's where, people have their thoughts on how his was, but he kept the juice, right? Like, he kept every practice the way it was. And I don't know if George Pickens is that guy, but in a new era, in a Zach Martin-less world, in a DeMarcus Lawrence-less world, in a Mike McCarthy-less world, I love Dak, but Dak is not the rah-rah guy, right? Like, Dak is not the dude who's out there. Yeah, he's trash talking to John, but, like, who's the dude that's like, man, these guys are about to fight, and because you want that on some level, right? You want that intensity and those epic battles to happen. I don't know if it's George Pickens. That seems too easy and too stereotypical. Is it a rookie? Is it somebody that we can't predict? Is Kalen Carson show up to Oxnard all pissed off and wanting to, like, spit in everybody's eyes type thing? I don't know, but I do know that in the dog days of training camp, you need that guy to kind of keep status quo, because you're just beginning a marathon. And if you think it's annoying the way you're being covered now after one weird story at camp and the number of fans in attendance, like, it's only going to get bigger and more obnoxious and more annoying. So somebody has to kind of, keep you pointed towards your North Star.
My guess on that, Tyler Booker. Nice dude, but nasty. He's a different dude. So. He's a different dude when he steps onto that field. I think that nasty is going to be there. I'm curious if he's going to pull an old Des Bryant. Dude, I'm not carrying your helmets.
I mean, even in that respect, like, whose helmets is he carrying, right? Like, along the, all due respect, like, along the offensive line, like, if Terrence Steele, Brock Hoffman, again, and congratulations, he was recently married, but, like, if Brock Hoffman's, like, carrying my helmets, like, if Tyron Smith asks you to carry his helmet, and Dez, right, like, Roy Williams asks you to carry his helmet, it's a different thing. But, like, that's kind of my point. Like, they're in a place where there's room for new alphas to step up and take the mantle, because Zach Martin's gone, because DeMarcus Lawrence is gone. And it goes without saying that I also am curious for when the Micah extension happens. Like, I'll ask you, does it happen before they break camp in Oxnard?
I think it does. I think it happens before the first day that pads go on. We get out there Saturday the 26th, pads go on the 27th, and I think Micah's going to push for it more than any of the other recent veterans, whether you're talking about CD or not. He couldn't stay off the field in minicamp, even though he was going to. And with Eberflus there, I think there is a priority for Micah not to miss the important time, and that's when the pads go on.
Well, let's hope he doesn't do all like Travis Frederick then, if it happens right when you arrive. You know what I mean? Like, let's hope that he does it the right way. All due respect, again, to Travis.
Travis Frederick, and I think you're referring to this story. We interviewed Rob Thompson and I. We had Travis Frederick on the Blitz. We're talking to him about getting his new contract, and he was giving us the, well, we'll see. My agent's talking. It's not my focus. And he's finished the interview, and he goes back into the complex. And about 2 hours later, it's announced the deal is done, and it was done in the morning. They just hadn't announced it yet. That dude sat on our show for 15 minutes and knew he was stupid rich and lied. It was crazy.
Yeah. I hope Micah comes in as like, Jason, I brought the CT, man. I brought everything you need. I'm hooking you up because my bank account is popping right now. What else can I get you? I'll take care of the Ubers. I'll take care of the Bud Lights. I got you. Micah strikes me as that kind of guy, so I hope that's your experience.
I remember Rob was like, well, if you don't have your new deal, and Rob was like, dude, you're the hairiest man I've ever met in my life. And this dude just signed this massive contract and didn't let us know yet because it hadn't been announced. It was crazy. And, yeah, the Micah deal will certainly be a storyline, although I hope a short one when we get out there. All the great coverage there at bloggingtheboys.com, and make sure you're following RJ Ochoa on Twitter at RJ Ochoa, because the season is here, my friend. Forks up. Congrats on finishing there at Arizona State. technically the same graduating class as my daughter.
That's right. Congratulations, of course, to Erica. She's literally, and from a credential standpoint, one of the smartest people I know. So I know you and Joanna are very proud. You should be. And just as I leave, when you do the Gator Chomp, because I know that you are going to root for Florida, because you love me.
I will not.
Let's be real.
Hook 'em horns.
When it's convenient, but the chomp is right over left, just for whenever you do it, even if it's in your heart.
Will never happen. Appreciate you, RJ. Have a great weekend. RJ
Later.
Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
KTFM Floresville, your home for the Super Bowl. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, faucets, vanities, doors, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a member? Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and respect. A firm backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients. If you've been injured, trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Spurs opened up Las Vegas Summer League by putting a whooping on the Philadelphia 76ers with a 111-70 victory. Number 2 overall pick Dylan Harper did not play for the Spurs last night, but is expected to make his Spurs debut when they return to action tomorrow at 3 against number 1 overall pick Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. Major League Baseball, the Rangers beat the Angels 11-4 in their series finale. Up next, they open up a series with the Astros in Houston, which starts tonight. A game you can catch on your home for the Rangers, San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 6:30. Speaking of the Astros, they're calling up their number 1 overall prospect, Bryce Matthews, to join the team. He's hit .283 with 10 homers this season in AAA.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Reinagel has the day off. He'll be back on Monday. I'm Jason Minix on a great Friday afternoon. Glad to have you along. If you're listening on the radio, driving home because your weekend has started, congrats. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. You can comment there. You can subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I just saw something during the break on Instagram that I think is very, very cool. And Pledge and I actually were part of this yesterday. Pete Terry's yesterday, they donated all their proceeds to disaster relief. And I hadn't been to Pete Terry since they opened, to be honest. But I stopped and got a couple of burgers, one for me, one for Pledge yesterday. And then I saw throughout the day the lines there were insane. Apparently, they ran out of food, which is great. And I do think over the next whatever, if you see somebody doing something like that, that's another way that you can help. And again, there's not a P. Terry's convenient for me, so I'm not going out of the way for a burger that I'm not familiar with. But I did yesterday because I knew that they were doing that donation. And then when I saw the lines and nobody complained about lines because they knew what they were doing, but to see that they ran out of food at some of their locations yesterday, I think is freaking awesome. See, Robert Earl Keen has announced a benefit concert. August 28th, that's a Thursday night out at Whitewater. Now, they haven't announced the full lineup yet, but REK says it's going to be a star-studded event. I can only imagine all the people that are going to show up, and that's going to be a big fundraiser. I kind of hope that they do some sort of live stream to raise even more money because, whatever it is he's doing, it's going to sell out. It's going to be insane. I know Robert Earl's been on tour and donating all his merch sales to relief, and he's from Kerrville. He's talked about it. I mean, he opened up his property. You need a place to stay, come here. I mean, that it's very personal for Robert Earl Keen, but you think about the Texas country red dirt scene. So many of those guys are from that area. Rich O'Toole has been doing a handful of concerts, and they've been raising a lot of money. But it certainly is a way that you can help. The news that's out there, I know President Trump flew in today, seeing all the different pictures of people that actually saw Air Force One landing out at Kelly and the different news coverage. And look, depending on which side you are, the comments are all over the place. This isn't the time to be political. This isn't the time to, it's the time to help. And if you're looking for ways that you can help, at sasportstar.com, we have a link there that has a kind of vetted, verified list of where state and local officials have said, if you want to donate money, here are some links. If you want to donate items, here's what we need. If you want to volunteer to help, here's how you need to do it. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of scammers out there. And they're I was reading an article that apparently because people, when their kids were missing, were posting their phone numbers. Those people are now getting phone calls saying, I've got your kid, I need this money. And that's just such BS. It really is. So if you want to help, there's all kinds of stuff, information available at sasportstar.com. Or when you see, like what P. Terry's did yesterday, support those kind of businesses. Any kind of local business that is willing to donate profits, go help them. And in this case, Pledge had never had a P. Terry's. And he's like, well, all right, well, that's worth going up an extra exit to get a burger. Because it's a good burger, right? And inexpensive at that. And the cookies they threw in were fantastic. But if you see that, and I saw the Express News had a long list of different businesses that were doing things. But yeah, help with that. Robert Earl Keen, August 28th. That's a Thursday out at Whitewater. Keep that one in mind. It's also, I believe, the first Thursday night of college football that night. We'll be live at the Roo Pub. We'll be live at the Roo Pub coming up on Tuesday night. The Blitz will be live there 2 to 6 on Tuesday, getting ready for the All-Star game, because if there's any big game, any big event, any big fight like Saturday night, get into the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. No better place to go watch any big game, any big event, because of those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around, and the food at the Roo is fantastic. Love the fried shrimp there. They got the biggest and best wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu. Pledge loves the salads over there. I couldn't tell you, but I'll take Pledge's word for it. Great appetizers. And that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. They have all the beers you want, full bar. The game room has the best darts area in town. They even have indoor cornhole. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. The best place to watch any big game, any big fight, and it's big fight night tomorrow. So get into the Roo Pub, just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Las Palapas, Array, the College of Healthcare Professionals, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you ready for the all-new Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Trucks fly, crash, and smash. Thanks to Good to Crow, kids' ticket prices half off. Coming July 26th and 27th to Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Join the Blitz live this Thursday at Lion and Rose at the Dominion for the Harley-Davidson Javelina Bike Night with food, drinks, vendors, and giveaways. That's this Thursday, starting at 2 at Lion and Rose Dominion, just off I-10 after the Dominion exit.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them. Endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagle's on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Friday afternoon. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. In fact, give a $50 gift card away right now to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill to the first person on YouTube that can tell us the song Pledge is playing right now. Although as I'm doing that, can they hear the song on YouTube? They can't even hear it on YouTube. Well, then that's dumb, isn't it? All right, well, we'll change that. Who's doing a benefit concert August 28th out at Whitewater? First person that can answer that will get a $50 gift card to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. I knew as soon as I said that, Pledge, I was like, wait a minute. It's always odd when you're watching on YouTube. Now, obviously, I never watch this show on YouTube because I'm on it. But if I'm watching on the Morning Huddle on YouTube, and all you do is hear AJ's awful singing without the music that goes with it, that's a tough listen, right? But it's the way it is. So, first person that spells everything correctly will win that gift card. And then once you're there, you got to call Pledge. He'll pick a winner and let us know. $50 gift card to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill for those watching on YouTube as we speak. You know, as the Big 12 Media Days wrapped up this week, it really set a precursor to what we're going to hear, talking points for all the other media days that are coming up. SEC and Big Ten, you can already tell that they are getting their talking points in line to how to defend and deflect what they heard from the Big 12 media days and pushing a playoff model of the 5+11. And, you know, depending on your own personal, affiliations with the conference is going to decide which way you think you want to go. If you're the SEC and the Big Ten, you feel like you're the best conference out there, you should have more opportunities in the playoffs. That's why they want to go with the 4-4-2-2 model, which is 4 teams from the Big 10, 4 teams from the SEC. The Big 12 pushing the 5+11. 5 highest-rated conference champions, those from the power conferences in the group of, and then 11 at-large bids. Even Brett Yormark said this week that might not be the best short term for the Big 12, but long term it would be. So, I mean, you look at it, what is the best for expansion? Quite frankly, and I know expansion is coming, but I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know that we need 16 playoff teams. 16, right? That's 16, right? I liked 4. I think 6 or 8 is the right about, how many people have a realistic chance of winning a national championship. That's what you're trying to determine. How many teams, you can head out to the Roo Pub this weekend, argue with your buddies. 4 or 5 teams that really have a shot at winning a national title, just like there are 4 or 5 teams that have a real shot at winning the Super Bowl. That's an argument. Nobody's going to argue 17 teams. Like, one of the beauties of college football, the way it is set up now, is you can make an argument for the team that got screwed. And that's part of the fun, as long as your team isn't the one that got left out in the cold, right? I was reading about Tyler Booker at that O-line Masterminds class they're having up in Dallas. At lunch, they showed last year's championship game, and it pissed him off. And he's like, dude, I went to Alabama and didn't win a championship. That will eat at me for the rest of my life, because you always feel like Alabama's going to have a chance, right? Who's got a realistic chance? The NCAA met yesterday and tabled the idea of expanding the men's basketball tournament from 68, where it is now, which is dumb. They were talking about going to 76. And one of the reasons they said is when they went to the current 64-team format, I was reading, there's about 100 new programs playing Division I basketball. Well, they need a chance to win a title. So I'm going to go back to an idea that I had a while ago. If you're trying to get more people with a chance at winning a national championship, why don't we do like they do in Texas high school football and have 2 state champions, in this case, 2 national champions. Come up with a playoff system for the Power 4 conferences, and then come up with a playoff system for the group of 5. It'd be like 6A Division I and 6A Division II. You can't tell me that there wouldn't be enough TV dollars out there. But as I sit right now, and there's so much argument about including a group of 5 automatic qualifier, and do they belong? Boise State was that team last year, and they proved on the field they did not belong. As much as I'd love for UTSA to get into the playoffs, if I'm being real, do I think that UTSA in football has a chance at winning a national championship? And the answer is no. They can get into playoffs. I know they can get into the playoffs. But do I think they could actually run through the playoffs and win a national championship? No. Anybody picking them to beat Texas A&M in their opener this year? No. Anybody pick them and really think they would beat the Longhorns last year? No. But if you were to put a group of 5 playoff together, UTSA can play with any of those teams in the country. And more football, the better. I think they could easily find a TV package to where you could have that. And then it doesn't water down the regular season. Now, I say that knowing that right now, because UTSA is in the group of 5, or the group of conferences, because a bad loss does end their playoff hopes, where a Texas or a Texas A&M or an Ohio State or a Georgia can have a loss. And if we get to 16 teams, they could have 2 or maybe even 3 losses and still get in the playoffs and win a national championship. But I like the idea. Do you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You can have your playoff system, your playoff with the power schools, your teams from the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC, they can be in one bracket. And then the group of the new Pac-12, the Sun Belt, the American, the whatevers they are. I mean, I think that's like having a 6A Division I champion and a 6A Division II, and a 5A Division I and a 5A Division II. I mean, does Smithson Valley's championship last year in the state of Texas, is it diminished because there's also another Class 5A champion? No. And UIL went to that rule, one, equity because it's based on enrollment, but more teams have a chance at winning a title. They remember when there were district champions that created the playoffs, and then there were 2, and now there's 4. I mean, good Lord, now you have teams without a winning record that are in the playoffs, district playoffs in the state of Texas. More teams have an opportunity. I look at when my daughter was an undergrad at Sam Houston State, they were an FCS program. Those playoffs were a lot of fun. We've seen UIW in the FCS playoffs. They get in, they have, and they're fun. And you know, Erica's senior year, they won the national championship, although it was kind of weird because the whole spring deal. But they won a national title. I mean, my kid went to a school that won a national championship. That I still have T-shirts. I mean, that was awesome, right? Now, Sam Houston is in Conference USA. Their goal is to get into a bowl game. And for them, that's as high as they can realistically reach for every year. UTSA, there is a chance at the playoffs, but is there a chance at a national championship? Or is really the capper on a great season, UTSA getting a bowl game and then getting a bowl win? And I know how UTSA fans celebrated when they finally got that first bowl win. And I know we want to see them in the playoffs. But do you want to see UTSA get into the playoffs and draw Ohio State and get drubbed in the first round, or would you rather have a good bowl experience? Quite honestly, good bowl experience. Although financially, you'd want to be in the playoffs. But I think if you went with a group of playoff system, one, it's a whole new set of games you could sell to TV, and people would watch. Think about what the Alamo Dome was like when they played for the Conference USA championship game. Man, that was so much fun. You know, this year they're trying to set an attendance record September 6th when they played Texas State. The fact that their first ever game in the Alamo Dome, 56,000 and change showed up to watch Larry Coker roll out a team and play, was it Bacon State or whatever it was called, right? And they haven't come close to that number since. This year they're trying to break that. But I imagine if you're doing a group of playoff and UTSA is hosting in the Dome, people are going to come. You'll have it at home fields. Maybe the championship game could be at a neutral site, but in reality, have this at home field. It's what they do at the FCS level, and it works. It works extremely well. You saw UIW host a playoff game last year, and Cardinal Stadium was packed. When Sam Houston was in, they were packed. The championship game played up in Dallas. They beat South Dakota State, and that stadium was packed. And I remember the night before at the bar area near the Star in Frisco, all those people from the Dakotas that were there, and they were having a good old time until Sam Houston kicked their ass. But it was one of those. It was fantastic. It was a great experience as a fan, and with my daughter being there, I was all in. If you're a UTSA or Texas State with them going to the Pac-12 and what they're doing, it's fun to dream about the playoffs. Boise State last year in a group of type playoff like I'm describing, do they win a national championship, and how do they act versus, yeah, we made the playoffs and we got drubbed? That was fun. How many of you remember SMU was in the playoffs last year? Although they wouldn't be a part of this because they're in that conference. I just look at this and think, is this maybe an idea that could solve some of these problems? Because I can promise you, when the American has their media days in a couple of weeks, their commissioner, who I love, Tom Pernetti, is a fantastic dude, but he's going to be campaigning for the system that works best for his conference. And I don't know that you're going to find one unless you took the group out and you're looking at the 4 power conferences that kind of control college football, and you give them an even playing field on bids that are getting in, and those are the teams that are getting in, and they have a more of a realistic shot at winning a national championship. Because if that's the goal, if the goal is just getting to the playoffs, cool. But if your goal is to win a national title, if I'm Jeff Traylor, I'd rather be in a playoff system with teams that are more like mine. Kind of like what the state of Texas did in the UIL with enrollment numbers. So basically, you don't have a small, let's go old school, a small 5A high school playing a Judson Rockets team with their enrollment, or look at some of the enrollments of teams up in Dallas like Allen. I mean, it's insane. They got twice the number of teams. Idea, food for thought. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Joshua, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, Jason. I kind of disagree with going this Texas high school route with different conference championships, putting them around, or different national titles, and put them in something competitive. You're already putting competitive with your conference. And yes, it's going to be hard for UTSA to get in the playoff or win a national title, but that's the whole reason of being a champion. It's supposed to be hard. You're not supposed to just get it handed to you. You're not supposed to just go against the same people on your same division, because that's the way it kind of is. Sometimes there's people that are just better, have more funds, and you have to find a way to beat them and be better. That's the challenge of it. That's the whole challenge.
That's the way it is now, John. And I don't disagree with what you're saying, but conference champion is a goal. Winning a bowl game is a goal. But if you're talking about the playoffs, I mean, if you take Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, an LSU, A&M, and Alabama, Georgia, they're all competitive on the rosters they can get and the money that they're spending. UTSA is not even close to that. Boise State's not close to that. So getting into the playoffs, now follow me here. If there is a playoff for the group of teams that are more like each other, and then the big boys had theirs that are more like each other, you're not giving you don't have a UTSA that could be taking the spot of a team that could actually get in, but because they had a loss or they didn't win their conference, because it's the automatic qualifier that gets UTSA in, nothing else. It's, if they win, they're the highest ranked group of, they get an automatic qualifier. That means there is a team out there that probably has a better shot at winning a national champion that doesn't get in. But if you're a UTSA fan, do you want a real chance at winning a national championship, or do you want to get into the playoffs and get drubbed?
I'd rather get in the playoffs. If you get drugged, you get drugged. But if you get on that field with them, look at Boise State against Oklahoma. No one ever thought they'd win, but now whenever you mention
that was
Boise
a bowl
State,
game that Oklahoma didn't give a damn about. I saw Boise State in the playoffs this year, and what happened?
And they got skull drugged. But remember, Kellen Moore also keeps his greatest offensive mind because he led that team. That's where most people know him from, is from that game because of what happened against that Oklahoma team. And I think that's going to take away – there's no longer going to be a Cinderella story.
I think we need to check some facts here. I don't know that Kellen Moore was the quarterback of –
It wasn't. It was Jared Zabransky.
Yeah, it was that dude. And I don't remember him either. But, dude, Joshua, do not let facts get in the way of a bad argument. I can promise you there. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to talk some Spurs Summer Leaguers. Our good friend Tom Orsborn from the San Antonio Express News is in Las Vegas, and he joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're flying solo, but there's so much to talk about. Spurs are in the middle of their summer league run. The Cowboys got to do something about Micah. We're going to look at it all and get ready for a fine week of fun. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're going to draw one name of a person that sold their car to GiveMeTheVin.com and give them $25,000.
Wow. Give Me the Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
Could you imagine being that person? Wouldn't that feel great?
That would be awesome.
Well, honey, you won.
Oh my God. Heather Krager of Dallas, Texas won $25,000 and Give Me the Vin's big cash giveaway. That's so cool. You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more. I guess that old Mercedes was worth more than I thought. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, faucets, vanities, doors, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a member? Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Vacation mode? Check. Don't forget your furry friend. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma offers daycare, boarding, grooming, and more. Discounts for military, teachers, and first responders. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit, where pets play, stay, and feel at home.
You know, last night was billed to be all about Cooper Flagg and Bronny James, but the Spurs did play last night in Summer League basketball, and in typical Spurs fashion, David Jones-Garcia led the way. Let's talk about it. Tom Orsborn from the San Antonio Express-News joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel still on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Tom, in Vegas, man, appreciate you taking some time.
Sure, Jason. Glad to be with you. Where did Joe go?
Joe is somewhere on a beach in Mexico.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, he's at an all-inclusive. He's got a family member getting married tomorrow, but good destination wedding. But if there's an all-inclusive, Reinagel's going to be there.
Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. I know a couple of colleagues. Mike Wright from ESPN went down to Mexico to the beach, and Jeff McDonald went down there. So it seems to be a hot place.
You should try it sometime. Although they sent you to the desert. I mean, they sent you to Vegas, which you're a better man than me. I would have a hard time doing my job if I were told to go cover the Summer League in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's my 5th straight year out here, and gotten to know Vegas really well. The non-strip areas have a lot to offer, I've found. A lot of good restaurants, and there's great restaurants on the Strip, but there's also some off the Strip. So I like Vegas. I got no complaints.
No, me neither. The first two California games of the California portion of the Summer League, Tom, I was out of town and didn't see him, and I was trying to figure out who David Jones-Garcia was. So I've been calling him the Chupacabra because, the first game he plays leading scorer, and there's not a mention about him. Second game, leading scorer, no mention about him. I'm Googling and learning, but I've been calling him the Chupacabra, and he just continues to lead this team during Summer League action. Yeah. Does he have a realistic shot at least having a two-way deal this upcoming season?
Yes, absolutely. And he's kind of there's the skeptical viewpoint would be to say, well, he's a Summer League player. There's certain guys that know how to score and they dominate out here because the defenses aren't, they're not very sophisticated. You're facing a lot of guys that are inexperienced. If you have a little bit of experience like David does and some skill like David does, you can put up the kind of numbers that he's putting up. And he's really, having his way out here. But yes, to answer your question, he does have a good shot at the third two-way spot. If they go with Harrison Ingram again, and Riley Minix again, which seems likely, I would say David has a very good shot at wrapping up the third one. He can score. There's no question about it. He's shooting at an extremely high, efficient rate out here. The last two games, especially against the Sixers yesterday, it was 9 or 12, 4 or 5 from deep, 24 points. His senior year or his last year of eligibility at Memphis, and keep in mind he did a tour. He did a tour across the country. He played at DePaul, St. John's, and then finally at Memphis under Penny Hardaway. He averaged 21 points that final year at Memphis. The guy can score. He's got a good shot. He's got a good sense. Offensively, he needs work. Passing wise, and that's kind of what they've been working on here. He's had to play a lot of point guard with Dylan Harper out, but yeah, I think he's pretty much sewn up that third two-way unless there's someone else they have in mind that gets cut loose from another team.
Tom Orsborn from the San Antonio Express News joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You mentioned Dylan Harper expected to make his Summer League debut tomorrow against Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. Being around the practices and seeing him at the game yesterday, your early impressions before he's taken the court of what Dylan Harper can offer this team.
Well, he's we haven't seen him on the court, but off the court, right from the get-go, he's got a certain charisma about him, a certain point guard demeanor about him, kind of a natural leader. That was, from the very first practice, minicamp practice they had for the summer league team, that was very evident. And then he's kind of been the ringleader, for the bench squad, cheering and reacting to plays. He's got, we'll see what he's like on the court, but off the court, his charisma and just take charge demeanor is already kind of coming through. They, take it with a grain of salt that he's going to play on Saturday against Flagg and the Mavericks, and we don't even know if Cooper Flagg's going to play. You would think, that game's going to be televised by ESPN. They would want both those guys, the number 1 and number 2 selections in the game. But, Mike Noyes, the head coach of the Spurs Summer League team, I asked him last night about if Dylan was still trending toward playing Saturday. And, he very upfront said, this, it's all up to the medical staff. We're going to err on the side of caution. We're not going to put him in harm's way. If there's even a remote chance that playing would aggravate that minor groin injury that he has, they're not going to do it. ESPN or no ESPN. So, it'd be great to see him play. I know he wants to play, and the coaches want him to play. His teammates want him to play, but you know how the Spurs are. They're very, very cautious. They're always very cautious, but they're pretty darn cautious in these summer league situations.
And they
with their coveted draft picks.
And they certainly don't care if ESPN wants them to play. I mean, we know that whether it's Tim Duncan or a rookie in summer league, but. Being there yesterday at the game where ESPN was promoting the number 1 pick this year versus the 55th pick last year, like it was the NBA Finals, just the atmosphere around Summer League where apparently dudes were spending $3,000 a ticket to sit courtside. This is your 5th straight Summer League game. How has the overall Summer League experience changed?
Well, I mean, it's a gathering place. I think the fans come as much to see the newcomers to the league on the court, those stars of tomorrow, as the NBA builds it, promotes it out here in Vegas. They come to see that, but they also come to see what they got yesterday. Wemby arriving late in the first quarter of the Spurs game, walking across the court to his front row seat, slapping hands with Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson. They come to see those guys too. You get to see Mark Cuban walking around like he was yesterday. Doc Rivers. Just different players here and there from around the league. It's like a convention. So that whole atmosphere, if you're an NBA junkie, it's pretty cool. Plus you get to see guys like Mike Wright and.
And Tom Orsborn. Is Mike Wright sitting next to you?
Tim McMahon. Yeah, Mike and I sat together yesterday during the Spurs game. So, no, be serious. It is just like a convention. And again, if you're an NBA junkie, it's a cool place to be.
Seeing the Spurs contingent out there, and it's not surprising that a bunch of them showed up. I mean, they're Hoopers and it's Vegas. They didn't go to California, but they're going to show up in Vegas. But it does feel like the old Spurs family way to have all those guys courtside. And I thought it was interesting that De'Aaron Fox, of all people, was wearing a Spurs polo, like he, had to go to work after.
Yeah, and they do have fun out here, but they're also, they're going to get some time working out with the summer league team, and working out at their own at the team hotel where there's a court set up in a ballroom. They'll get some workouts in, and so it's not all fun and games, but it was also neat at halftime yesterday. They sauntered over. The players, the veteran players, sauntered over to talk to Mitch Johnson and his new assistant coach, top lieutenant Sean Sweeney, formerly of the Mavericks. So yeah, it is kind of a meeting place, and I don't remember if they had as many players present as they have in the past. It was a handful last year, but it's a pretty good contingent this year, which speaks well. And you added Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk. It's a lot of changes made to the Spurs roster. It's going to be interesting what they can do with those lineups. How much they pair Cornett and Wemby on the court, and they can get pretty creative. And the defensive unit that they can put out there on the floor. I think Carter Bryant, it's going to take him a little while, but he showed last night what he can do defensively, and it was pretty darn impressive. So you couple him with Castle and Wemby, it's a pretty good defensive unit. It has the makings of it.
And clearly the focus for Brian Wright this year was the help defensively. Well, I wanted them to be a little bit more aggressive and get a three-point shooting sniper. Their focus has been clearly on defense, and I like the two moves. I don't know if they're being as aggressive as I would want them to be as a Spur fan, but in the Spurs way, very, very methodical. So I'm curious, knowing that Mitch is out there and Brian Wright's out there, if you get a chance, or you're going to bring up this Bleacher Report trade proposal that 17 people have sent me today on Instagram, where the Spurs would send Keldon, Harrison, and Jeremy and Atlanta's 27 first-round pick to the Lakers for LeBron James. Are you even going to entertain that with Brian Wright?
No. No. I don't think so. You mentioned it, Jason. They have a very methodical, disciplined plan. No skip, no steps that they've been following for quite some time now. And there's been no deviation from that. The plan this year, like you said, defensive help. They wanted to ensure that they had depth so they don't fall into the situation that they were in last year, a very dire situation when they didn't have Wemby. After they lost into that blood clot, and they had no rebounding, no interior defense. Bismack Biyombo did his best, and hey, he's a great guy to have around, but it was a real drop off, when Wemby was off the court, and it was that way all season. Zach Collins had his deficiencies, and Charles Bassey was out a lot with injuries, and it was so they fixed that hole. Then they've got the pieces in place where they can play that big look that Oklahoma City favored so much this year. They're also trying to shore up the bench, the bottom of the bench with more veteran guys. They brought back McLaughlin, and that's not a huge move. It doesn't move the needle at all, but they want guys. They want a little more veteran presence in their locker room. They hated to lose Sandro, and they wanted to keep him around, but Sandro made a good decision. Mahmoud Kalashvili made a decision and I respect him for this. He could have stayed in San Antonio and been as popular as he has been for a long time, but he wanted to play some. He doesn't want to be a mascot. The guy who just plays occasionally. He wants to try to crack a rotation, and he felt like the best chance for that was in Toronto.
Absolutely. Tom Orsborn of the San Antonio Express News in Las Vegas, covering Summer League. Enjoy the basketball, more importantly, and enjoy the great restaurants that you have access to there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. going to go. There's a hidden pizza joint at the Cosmopolitan Hotel that my wife and I like. We're gonna make our annual trek to that tonight. Really good pie there.
Nice.
But no, it's a good place. I like Vegas. It's fun to be out here.
If you get downtown to Circa Las Vegas, Tom, at a restaurant there called 9 East or 8 East, they have the best brisket fried rice you will ever eat.
Okay. Tell me, say that again, Jason, please.
It's Circa Las Vegas. It's on the second level.
Okay.
The brisket fried rice, it's 8 East or 9 East is the name of the restaurant. Fantastic brisket fried rice. And if you want a great steak, Berry Steakhouse there at Circa is also great.
Okay, great. Great tips. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Great steak call at the Golden Steer as well, just off the Strip on the corner of Vegas and Sahara. Old school steakhouse, the Golden Steer.
Golden Steer. Okay, thank you very much.
Go
Those
check
are good
out that.
tips. I appreciate it.
Tom Orsborn.
You always take care of me.
I know great restaurants. Appreciate you, Tom. We'll catch up soon.
Okay, Jason. You too. Bye-bye.
Tom Orsborn of the San Antonio Express News on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. I feel like I could be the Chamber of Commerce type tour guide at Circa Las Vegas because we go there a lot because it's a great spot. And we are going again in August, and you can go with us. It's the ultimate contest weekend at Circa Las Vegas. The Blitz will be live at Circa August 21st and 22nd. That's a Thursday and Friday. And then, of course, we're going to stay and enjoy the weekend there at Circa. You can join us. You should join us. This is your invitation to join us. Book your flights. Book your rooms. Discounted room rates are available with promo code BLITZ. Now, we've got it set up at sasportstar.com, a link that will take you to the reservation page for your rooms with the discount already there. But if you go to the Circa website, or you can also use the promo code BLITZ at the D, which is their sister hotel there on the Strip, a little bit more affordable rooms, book your rooms. Promo code BLITZ. Come to Vegas with us. It is going to be fantastic.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Let me tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Love Stevens Roofing, family-owned company, local company, and they're absolutely the best in the business. And you know as well as I do, we've had a lot of storms lately, haven't we, here in San Antonio? Also in the Hill Country, Fredericksburg, Castroville, they have been all over the place. And if you think your roof has been damaged by some of these storms, the best thing you can do is call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They'll send a crew out to inspect your roof, no obligation, and absolutely free. And they'll let you know if anything's wrong with it, any repairs that are needed, or they'll tell you that nothing's wrong and you're good to go. Either way, Stevens Roofing is the number you need to call. Remember it always for all your roofing needs. 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing and Solar, the absolute best in the business. 210-785-0994.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
When it comes to keeping your pumps running smooth, L&S Pump Repair has you covered. 24/7 on-site service for saltwater disposal and pump repairs. From Quintaplex to H-Pumps, they've got parts ready and the skills to get you back in the game fast. Need a whole new pump package? L&S builds custom skid packages too. Don't let knocking pumps or slow flow slow you down. Call L&S Pump Repair 936-853-3810. Keep your flow strong, San Antonio.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Dallas Cowboys All-Pro pass rusher Micah Parsons will have his jersey retired as his high school alma mater in Pennsylvania announced no one will ever wear his number 23 again for the Harrisburg Cougars. It was a great start to the Las Vegas portion of Summer League play for the Spurs as they trounced the 76ers 111-70. Up next, they'll take on #1 overall pick Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow at 3. #2 overall pick Dylan Harper did not play for the Spurs last night, but is expected to make his debut tomorrow. And in another NBA news, the Oklahoma City Thunder are burning through that money after winning a title as they re-signed Jalen Williams to a 5-year rookie max extension worth up to $287 million.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
5:03 on a Friday. You're off work, heading home, headed to the bar. You've made it after what has been a long week for all of us here in South Texas. When you think about everything that went on last week, the news, the coverage, just everything, we all need, I think, a weekend. We all need a day or two to recharge. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. You can subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel on vacation. He will be back on Monday. It's crazy to think it's July 11th. The The Los Angeles Chargers, formerly of the city of San Diego, their rookies report to training camp tomorrow. I don't remember ever training camps starting this early. Although I'm not mad at it. We get to football sooner. We do. In a couple of weeks, the San Antonio Sports Star crew will be in Los Angeles. We'll head out to Oxnard for AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. In fact, one of our great sponsors, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, the shipment came in today. The question is, how many bags will Pledge eat before we actually get on the plane? We'll have to have some for the Jim Beam Beach House. You know that, along with Jim Beam. We leave on the 26th. Cowboys will get to California on the 22nd. But they don't put on pads until Sunday, the 27th. People say, why don't you get there for day one? There's nothing to see. I mean, you don't learn anything. Stretching. They don't. First day of pads. We'll be there for that. But it did get me to thinking about the Chargers starting this early. Could this be part of the norm? We know the NFL dominates. They want to own every month. But you know, they don't really own June or July. They own August. They own every month during the football season. We know that. The combine, the draft, to a degree, minicamps. They get a lot of May. But there's a lot of talk about adding an 18th game to the schedule. Now, one of the things that there's a lot to unwrap when you look about an 18-game schedule. Because there are some that would argue that 18th game takes you into President's weekend, and that gives you that 3-day holiday that we've always talked about. Should the Monday after the Super Bowl be a holiday? The problem is I don't know that the NFL wants it to be a holiday because we all go to work and we talk about what? The game and the commercials. As a sports talk show host, it would suck to not work on that Monday. In fact, I'm pretty sure we'd be forced to, even though it would be a quote-unquote company holiday. So we can take the company holidays with no pushback from the boss, not during football season. But during football season, we work. But you want to, because this is what we do. You want to be on after football games, including the Super Bowl. It's never going to go to a Saturday night. It's always going to be on Sunday. But if they added in an 18th game, you have to give that extra bye week, which would push us into the following week. Do they want to go that way? Or do we get back to football starting Labor Day weekend, which I wouldn't be opposed with? Patrick Mahomes, is he at that golf tournament that everybody goes to at Lake Tahoe? He might be. I know he's been there before. I don't know why he would do an interview with CNBC unless they were out there. In fact, if you're watching that golf tournament, Charles Barkley hit the shot of his life today. I saw that on Twitter. I had to double check. Was that really Charles Barkley that hit that? Because it wasn't great film, kind of Zapruder filmish, but they said it was Charles Barkley. But I digress. Mahomes is not a big fan of 18 games. But if there was, you need to get that second bye.
You know, I always say the more games, it's a little bit more taxing on the guys that play the game. And so if there was a way that they were to get 18 games in the schedule through negotiations or whatever that is, collective bargaining agreement, I think that you'd have to find a way to have more bye weeks, more time spread out because, I mean, you've seen the amount of injuries that have kind of piled up there at the end of seasons, and you want to have the best players playing in the biggest games. And so if there were a way to get to 18 games, I'm not a big fan of it, but if there were a way, I think you got to add some bye weeks in there to give more time for guys' bodies.
Because player safety is what the NFL says they're concerned about. Do you guys want an 18th game? Are you willing to go with a second bye if that's what it takes? To me, the more football, the better. I mean, honestly. And I know health, bodies, all of that comes into play, and I get that. But I also know that the equipment they have to recover is a lot different than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. Because in a lot of ways, isn't it the same conversation when they went from 14 to 16 and then 16 to 17? And you know they're going to go 18. We know they are. The question is, how are they going to work it on the calendar? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're watching on YouTube, you can certainly comment there. I know we're getting an 18th game, so I'm not going to say I don't want it. Do I want a second bye? I'm selfish, right? But an extra bye is an extra bye. Don't a lot of colleges have 2 bye weeks? As long as there's plenty of football, if they can figure out a way to make sure we get the number of games on a Sunday afternoon that we need, right? Not 2 games, not 4 games, but if you've got a lot of byes, you can stagger them. I think we all hate an early bye. We also all hate a late bye. Nobody likes a bye when it's their team, but at the same time, how are you going to stagger it and make sure there's enough games? And I'm sure the NFL can figure it out. Give me one more regular season game. I've got no problem with it. But does that mean that we need to start the season Labor Day weekend? Now, right now, Labor Day weekend, you get a lot of college football games, and you get a college football game on a Sunday, and then you get the college football game on Monday, and that's cool, and then the NFL starts. I'm cool with an earlier start with the NFL on Labor Day. Kind of cool if it stretches into February. NBA types are going to be mad at that because, man, you go into that President's Day weekend or the weekend after that, the NBA All-Star game would have to figure out a new spot because nobody would watch if the Super Bowl was on. Or do you try to figure out how you make it Super Bowl weekend, President's Day weekend, so you have that Monday holiday that so many of us has called for? But an 18-game schedule is coming. You know it is. They've talked about it. Next CBA, I think, is 2030. It could actually get done before that. On YouTube, Gilbert says he's good without an 18th game. Frank, 2 byes, 18 games, start Labor Day. Let's do it. And they used to play on Labor Day. Not sure why they went away from that. If they felt the holiday hurt them, but I can't imagine. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Mario, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, Jason. I think if they go to a 18-week season or 18-game season, they should make the week 6 and week 12 the bye weeks for every team.
Oh, that's awful. What? That's awful. That's awful. That's a bad idea. Why would you want that? Why would you want 2 Sundays in the middle of football season with no games?
Well, then they can't argue player safety and unfair advantage of having 2 bye weeks close to each other for every team. I
don't see any way the TV people, let alone the NFL, but let's face it, it would be TV people. They're not going to have 2 full Sundays and then also Thursdays and Mondays without a game. There's no way they say everybody has the day off. Nobody will do that. They will, like they do now, figure out ways to stagger when the bye weeks are. And you know, what's weird now is there's some weeks where you have 2 teams on a bye week and some where there's 4, 5, or 6, which sucks when you are playing fantasy football and you've got a handful of people on a bye. But no way they go completely dark on those 2 weeks. That just isn't going to happen. You think about, you know, Major League Baseball next week, the All-Star game, the Blitz Tuesday at the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road, 2 to 6 leading into the All-Star game. You know, there's no games on Monday, and then Wednesday, and, you know, the NBA, they basically take a week off, and, you know, it hurts, but Sundays are too sacred. And selfishly, could you imagine if your wife knew you didn't have any football to watch on that Sunday, the amount of crap that you would have to do? Nobody wants that. I get where you're going from a safety standpoint. There's just too much money to lose to say we're going completely dark on these days. They will stagger it. And then how many weeks in between. You can't have a team have a bye week, play a game, and then another bye week. So there are some challenges to the 2 bye weeks, but it's coming, and they will figure it out. Ask AI. ChatGPT can probably come up with a schedule like that. But the question is, do you want Labor Day football to kick? Do you want Labor Day weekend to kick off the NFL season, or do you mind playing when it's damn near March? Because 18 regular season games, couple of bye weeks, you're talking about 20 weeks of the regular season. Preseason would likely be shorter with just 2 games, which I'm fine with. But that means training camp would start sooner. Instead of saying, hey, man, we're out there in Oxnard in 2 weeks, we'd be like, man, we're leaving this weekend for Oxnard. Let's go. July? Training camp sooner? I mean, Chargers start tomorrow. Why? Because they're in the Hall of Fame game. The rookies have to report tomorrow.
Think about it. If what you're saying is true, and Cowboys would be starting this week, that means a few weeks ago, the Chargers would have started since they're in the Hall of Fame game. That means right after the draft, we have training camp starting.
Well, it's not right after the draft. Draft was a long time ago. I mean, you would still have plenty of time, but it's the rookies that report tomorrow for the Chargers, and maybe the Hall of Fame game goes away because it needs to go away. It does need to go away. Or maybe the Hall of Fame game has a special time, like they play on a Saturday, and everybody else can have a preseason game on Sunday, even though a lot of the preseason games are on Saturday. I'm sure there's a way they could do it to where there would still be enough time off, because, again, players have to vote on this, and the CBA has to be ratified. And you got to keep in mind there's give and take. Players want their time off, right? Even though they get paid a gazillion dollars, they got to, and they work on their own. All these guys do a lot of work on their own, right? Don't discount that. They're not out drinking beer and spending their entire vacation, on a beach somewhere drunk in Mexico like Joe Reinagle is as we speak, right? They will find their way to the hotel gym. Joe will walk past it if he knows where it is. He ain't going in there on vacation. But you still have to have enough time off. And you hear that from guys that have these deep playoff runs. Cowboys don't know anything about this, but when you have these deep playoff runs, that's less time for your body to recover. And I get that. Training camp, mini camps, they could adjust the schedule. Do we even need preseason games? In reality, if college doesn't have preseason games, high schools, they'll have a scrimmage. These guys get more out of a joint practice than they do a preseason game. And good Lord, you could televise those and sell the sponsorships. I'd be down with the preseason completely going away. Although it is an important game for the guys that are going to end up on the practice squad. I get, but for your stars, no. Your regulars, I mean, remember there used to be 6 preseason games.
I do. I was going to say, if they're adding an 18th game, does that mean it goes down to 2 preseason games all of a sudden? Is that part of the trade-off, is one less preseason game?
Well, I think it is. I think from a mass standpoint, and you went from 16-4 to 17-3, and I think you would still see that. And again, 2 preseason games, do away with the Hall of Fame game. I think they will look at that. But the 18-game schedule is coming. And just math. I mean, it's weird at 17. You can't make your 8-8 Cowboy jokes anymore. You need to make those 9-9. I get it, and I see your joke on our YouTube channel there, David. That's part of it. 210-656-ESPN, 656-37-761. You're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Well, I have a little problem with you saying we don't need no preseason games.
All right.
But I'm on a budget, and I'm able to take my whole family on to a football game. Even though it's preseason, not a real game, but it still is the experience of taking my family to a game for $10 a ticket, and and that's gonna be that's kind of hard to do with a regular season game being 150 a ticket.
When let me ask you this: when did you go to a preseason game that was $10 a ticket?
I have tickets. It was against Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks. The Dallas Cowboys against the Seattle Seahawks.
So you're going to and you were able to get $10 tickets?
Yes, sir.
Dude, I'm impressed because I know those tickets have the same price as regular season, which again, a lot of the season ticket holders will throw them out there knowing or thinking they won't sell them. And you make a great point. From a fan experience, for a chance to go to a game, that's it. And you're right. I mean, if you're able to take the family up to that game and knowing financially going to a regular season game isn't likely and that's your experience, by all means, go enjoy. But from the NFL standpoint, if they're trying to add an extra regular season game, it's not for the $10 tickets, it's for the $150 tickets, and that's going to win every time.
That's right.
Appreciate you, man. Have fun at that game. I just, preseason or not, beat Seattle. Always beat Seattle.
Amen.
Absolutely. Jason wants to talk preseason football. Great name, Jason. You're on the Blitz. What's up?
Hey, buddy. Good morning. Good afternoon. I say we drop the preseason, maybe 2 games, start at Labor Day, get the roster bumped up, maybe 5 players, and play all the way to March, man. It's football. It's American sport.
More football, the better, right? I mean, that's I'm with you. More football, the better. Although, and again, player safety. Nobody wants to see everybody get hurt. But how much do we really care? We know what they put their bodies through, and we also know what they get paid. Right? I don't want to sound like I'm not compassionate or concerning, but that's part of it. If you're watching quarterback on Netflix, I mean, Kirk Cousins, man, last year, man, his shoulder, his elbow, he didn't complain. He didn't bitch. Probably should have sat down, and it ultimately cost him his job. Does he have regret? If you watch the show, he does. He also said, I learned a long time ago you don't want to ever see your backup on the field. Drew Brees told him that. Don't ever give that dude a chance because you might not get it back. So you play hurt, even if it makes you play poorly, and then you end up losing your job, right? That goes with it. We know what they make. Hard for me to say, dude, I know it hurts, man, but look at your bank account. I just want more football. Entertain me. They are in the entertainment business. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's a Friday. Everybody has their weekend plans. None of you plan on getting arrested, I hope, but it will happen. Happens to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
The Morning Huddle.
It's tennis elbow. If it's on the inside of your elbows, it's golfer's elbow. It's where those forearm muscles insert into your elbow, and for whatever reason, everybody will get it at some point.
But Rob doesn't work out, and he has
No, well, I do certain things.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, you are left-handed. Never mind.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Come check out the new Lion and Rose Dominion location with the Blitz this Thursday. The Blitz will be broadcasting live for the Harley-Davidson Javelina Bike Night. We'll have food, vendors, tons of giveaways, including your chance to win Queensryche tickets. Take advantage of the great happy hour specials, $2.50 drafts, $5 wines and wells, and a long list of $5 appetizers. That's the Blitz this Thursday starting at 2 at the Lion and Rose Dominion location off I-10 after the Dominion exit.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat $1 billion insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community when and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, $1 billion insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-298-2007. That's 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep,
brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
94.1 FM.
Gotta love a Friday afternoon. Heard that commercial for the Roo Pub? Quick reminder, Tuesday is the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Blitz live at the Roo Pub on Tuesday from 2 to 6. And then stick around and watch the All-Star Game because big game, big event this weekend. Roo Pub will have the fights. Then, of course, they have Summer League on. What are you writing up there, Pledge?
Celo's birthday's tonight.
Oh, is it? At the Roo Pub?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go celebrate?
I think so.
And Pledge is going to be at the Roo Pub tonight. It's a day that ends in Y. Of course, Pledge is going to be at the Roo Pub tonight. When they do the birthday celebration for their staff, it's a fun night. Then again, it's always a fun night. Tonight's going to be fun, too. Astros and Rangers tonight. Now, if you're not at the Roo Pub, make sure you're listening to it here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Rangers got a nice win last night. The Astros coming off getting swept at home by Cleveland. A big series coming up before the break for both teams, but especially the Houston Astros. And again, you got to decide. I mean, this is the time of year where you either go, okay, my baseball team is making a move and will stay relevant because football season is about to get started. There's, and again, with training camps about to start, and I hate preseason polls, yet I'm always caught up in them. It's true because you have, somebody I know likes to say, we just don't know. Preseason polls are the prime definition of that crap. But Bleacher Report has their NFL power rankings. Where does every team stack entering at training camp? Philly 1, Chiefs 2, Bills 3, Ravens 4, Lions 5. The Command 6 at 6, Tampa 7, Rams at 8, Packers 9, Chargers at 10. Houston at 11.
Shocking a little bit.
Dallas at 17.
So low.
That
feels low.
It does. But there's enough question marks about the Dallas Cowboys that gives you pause, right? How good are they? How good is that run game going to be? Should be improved. How good is that offensive line going to be? Zach Martin retired. Zach wasn't very good last year. So it should be improved. Should. Defense is healthy, at least in July. Eberflus better than Zim, who's now going to Colorado staff with Dion. But again, I'm not sure where I'd put the Cowboys if I were to start listing them out. Probably not at 17, probably closer to 12 or 14. But they've got a lot to go prove. Philly is Philly. That's a team that won it all last year, and they had a great offseason. But it's in the rules. You don't have repeat winners in the NFC East. Would I put right now, seriously, the Chiefs ahead of the Bills? I don't know. The Ravens at some point, the Ravens are like the Cowboys. At some point, Lamar's got to get it done in the postseason. The difference is he's got a great defense. Although that great defense needs to also show up in the playoffs. The Lions, the year that they had last year, can they duplicate it? Really the last 2-year run that the Lions have had. And if you've been watching quarterback on Netflix, a lot of Jared Goff, and you understand the heartbreak in Detroit when they lost that playoff game last year to Washington. After their best regular season ever, they get the bye, and, they're out having a wonderful steak dinner, and then Jared Goff's wife is crying in the suite. Oh, my God, I can't believe this is happening. Although she did a good job of consoling Mr. Jared Goff because the show ended with her getting an ultrasound because their family is growing. The team that I find interesting is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at number 7 on this list. I look at that, and I like what Tampa's done. Baker Mayfield is finally getting the respect that he thought he was going to get coming into the league. He has turned it around. He's in a right fit. That is a good team in a weak division. So, I mean, obviously you could look at them and go, yeah, well, they're going to win the NFC South. I mean, who else is going to win it? Carolina? No. New Orleans? No. Atlanta? Well, no. So Tampa Bay. I mean, they're going to win it. But to have the Packers at 9 and Tampa Bay at 7, to me is a bit of a surprise. To have, I don't know. I mean, the Rams are probably where they need to be. The Chargers at 10. I mean, quite honestly, and I know, Pledge, you were surprised Houston was at 11. I think I would put Houston ahead of the Chargers.
Well, yeah, especially you take into consideration what happened last year in the playoffs.
Well, I mean.
But I look at, you mentioned Tampa Bay. They're giving a lot of respect, I guess, to Chris Godwin coming off an ACL injury.
I mean, a lot of factors in there. I mean, a ton of factors into everything.
And not enough for Devontae Adams being added to that core in place of Cooper Kupp on the Rams? You have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams with the Los Angeles Rams.
Are you talking Rams or Chargers? I thought you were talking Chargers and then went to the Rams.
Well,
and you realize it's the same city but two different teams.
No, I was talking Bucks with Godwin, and then I transitioned. Like the Bucks are higher than I think they should be, and the Rams are lower than I think they should be, especially since they were really the only team that gave Philly a run last postseason.
I think the Rams are one of those teams that, and again, I think without saying when healthy, you add Devontae Adams with Matt Stafford, and you're right. The Rams damn near beat Philly last year, probably should have beat Philly last year. And they're going to be right there. And again, look at their division, right? I mean, San Francisco, where is San Francisco on this list?
I think they were 13th, if I remember correctly.
See, that's a team that I'm not sure. I think San Francisco could be one of those teams that surprises everybody and they're back and they're right there. Or they could end up being a dumpster fire again. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's weird to say San Francisco's a sleeper in the NFC, right? We're talking about San Francisco. But the way things went last year, kind of like what you're dealing with the Cowboys, because of injuries and a lot of weirdness, people are unsure of where to put San Francisco. And they're right now at 15 on this list, right? But they could seriously be right up there. Trying to see, the teams in the 20s don't matter because they're exactly who you think they are. They got the Bears at 19. A lot of respect for Ben Johnson. Atlanta at 18. Cowboys at 17. Cincy at 16. And again, Cincy, I mean, Joe Burrow should have won MVP last year, but they had no defense. And, you know, the MVP goes to the best quarterback on the best team. You can't be an MVP and not be on a playoff team.
There are concerns for me, at least for Detroit. Like, I love Dan Campbell and that team, but remember what happened after Philly lost both of their coordinators in the same season and how it fell apart on them.
I'm with you. You know, losing Ben Johnson could be big. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are at 13 on this list, yet J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings are at 14. Please tell me, why am I seeing the Denver Broncos at number 12?
Sean Payton, baby, the quarterback whisperer.
Mm-hmm. There will be no whispering at the Queen's Wright concert coming up in December. I can promise you that, unless you're whispering some sweet nothings into the ear of the lady next to you that you can take to the show with free tickets. If your caller number, where were the Cowboys?
17th.
Caller 17, you're winning Queensryche tickets. Queensryche, December 13th, Aztec Theater. If you don't win the tickets, buy them, livenation.com. But if you're caller 17, right now those tickets are yours. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're flying solo, but there's so much to talk about. Spurs are in the middle of their summer league run. The Cowboys got to do something about Micah. We're going to look at it all and get ready for a fine week of fun. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
These guys around the country made a fan page for us. So, Rico Suave, what is it that stimulated you about our program?
It's a love of the show, man.
What would you like to see us do more of since you're a P1 listener?
Girls on trampolines during the break. They're pre-K.
Man. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 21st and 22nd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas.
Details and discounted rooms with promo code BLITZ available online at sasportstar.com.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
All right, Takis fans, Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Are you ready for the all-new Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glowing Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Trucks fly, crash, and smash. Thanks to Good to Crow, kids' ticket prices half off. Coming July 26th and 27th to Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your four-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Pumpkin Biscuits in Selma.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Guys, it's summertime. Carbox got you covered with summertime beers. Whether it's the Love Street Blonde Kolsch Ale, the Rhubarb, which is their latest Fun Series beer, or a Ziegenbach, Crawford Bock, whatever you're looking for, there's something for everybody's taste in Carbox lineup. Check them out at all your local stores.
94. Professionals and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel out. I'm Jason Minix in. Guy was just hitting me up on Facebook. Give me the dates for Vegas again. Cool. Easy to do. August 21st and 22nd. That's a Thursday and a Friday. Blitz will be working those days, noon to 4. 2 to 6 here. But those are the days we're doing our shows. Then we're staying for the weekend. We're actually flying in that Wednesday night. So that's the weekend of the big ultimate contest weekend at Circa Las Vegas. Now, the two contests that we're doing a deal with is Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Anytime you're in Vegas between now and the start of football season, you can get signed up. Sign up in Vegas, you can play anywhere. But that's kind of that big weekend, and it's before college football gets going. It's, that last weekend before the kids are in school, a lot of crowd. That's why they do it that weekend. That's kind of the big sign-up weekend because the following weekends, Circa understands, schools get back in session or college, whatever the case is. So that's like the great weekend for them to do this massive weekend. But you can sign up at any point if you're going to Vegas. If you're heading out there this weekend for Summer League action, go by Circa, you can get signed up. But we want you to come party with us. And we hear from a lot of you after we go or while we're there, dude, I'm going next time. All right, well, this is our 5th or 6th time doing this thing at Circa, whether it's in March for basketball or in baseball or this deal. Either way, everybody that said I'm going next time, your FOMO, whatever it is, now is the time to book your stuff. Promo code BLITZ saves you money on the room at Circa or their sister hotel, the D. Get your flights, and every year that we're out there, we see a lot of you in the casino. We see at the bar, wherever it is. But we always try to do, Joe and I, a listener event on Saturday. Sometimes they've been really well attended. And everybody says they're showing up, and then you get messages, dude, I'm drunk. Or I'm over here, and I'm on a heater. I'll catch you guys later. It happens.
Happens in Vegas.
It's Vegas. Other stuff might happen. But Joe and I will be at that bar when we say we're going to be there. And one year there's about 20. One year there's about 8. Or one time, because I say years, we go twice a year. But yeah, I mean.
And people have been asking me, and I want to make sure I'm correct in this. When y'all do your stuff at Stadium Swim with the pool and they want to come see you, they're allowed to get tickets up to go to Stadium Swim and be with y'all.
Yeah, you don't have to pay the money.
Because there's a guy who's a rewards member at a different casino. He's planning on going, but.
Yeah, when we're there, you just tell them you're there to see the radio dude, and they let you in for free. That's a cool thing. Although on this trip, we're in the ballroom, not the pool.
Oh,
well, it's the same as last year.
Yeah, I remember being in the sports book and stuff, but Sydney.
Well, she comes and sees us. Trust me.
Okay.
Those that want to meet Sydney can meet Sydney. Or 41 that look just like her.
I just know that I'm not going to be there, so the only thing I'm going to have is that video on YouTube.
Choose words carefully, Jason. Choose words carefully. Like the restraining order that she's going to have to get if you go to Vegas. There's a reason why we don't take you. But the fact that her picture is your screensaver is kind of, well, normal.
Jealous?
Jealous? No, I'm not jealous. I see your computer every day.
It's really for the entire office.
Is that what it is?
It's for y'all. I'm here to help the show.
Is that what you're doing? Fred wants to know, does Sydney do baseball or football? Yes. Yes. Probably basketball and hockey. I threw hockey in there just so it's a sport that they don't call it a ball. But you know where I'm going with that.
Puck drop.
Sam says Pledge needs to take off time and party. No. We took Pledge on the road one time. We'll never do that again. One time we took him to Oxnard for Cowboys training camp. And we decided the best place for Pledge is in the glass box of fun. This is true.
I'm aware.
I mean, HR prevents me from telling us why, but I think people could figure that out.
I know what I did, and I'm shocked that was the straw, because I know the things that Johnny Campion used to do.
And the difference is, well, Johnny's a legend. Johnny is a legend.
He is.
Johnny is a legend. And some of those stories are legendary.
Oh, Rob was telling it this week, the one that he almost got in a fight with Gene Simmons.
Oh, did he really bring that up? Did he tell that story on the air?
Yep.
About
Shannon Tweed?
Yeah, it's a true story. Johnny Campion was trying to hook up with Shannon Tweed, and she was into it. Mm-hmm. And Gene Simmons was right there. And then Rob, helping out Johnny, didn't realize that was Gene Simmons, and then he's all bowed up to him face to face like, holy crap, I'm about to get in a fight with Gene Simmons. Now, I wasn't there for that trip, but I've heard the stories from both Johnny and from Rob Thompson. And I'm still not sure how Rob fell off the back of a loading dock at the old Hooters Casino, because they were there for the grand opening of that thing.
There are a lot of things that Rob does on these trips that I don't know how he does it.
Trust me, I'm with him half the time and go, how in the hell did that happen?
Whether it was Miami or washing his wallet or...
And Rob is the least confrontational dude out there. Last week, we were in Denver together, and Rob almost got into a fight at this bar.
What?
Is that what brought this up?
Maybe. I don't think I've heard about the fight you almost got to he almost got into in Colorado.
We were at a bar in Denver called Herb's. Great live music.
Great bar.
Like you know it.
I've been there. I used to go up to Denver all the time when AC lived up there.
So we're at this bar because we were at a rooftop bar near the stadium, and then where's live music, and let's go. Great bar. Not the biggest of places, and I'm still not 100% sure how Rob almost got into a fight, but he comes back from the bathroom, was like, some dude just bowed up on me in the bathroom. And I'm like, what? And he's telling this story, and I'm still not really sure, but it was one of those, there's one stander and one sitter, and that's all it had, so there's a line. And something about, Rob pushes the door open, there's a guy right there, and he probably knocked him over because it's Rob going into a bathroom, and the guy's like, you want some of this? You want some? Yeah, I do. And I'm like, Rob, you said that? And then this dude kept walking by Rob, but that's him. And this guy just kept walking by where we were all standing, and he was as big as Rob.
It was a big dude.
It was a big dude. So I told Rob, you're on your own. Don't get into a fight. Because you know.
That's so not
Rob's,
like Rob.
Rob's got the size where nobody's going to bow up on him. But this guy, and Rob was like, you know, I thought he was going to, I mean, like A.J. Hoffman, I anticipate he's going to get into a fight wherever we are. He looks for him. A.J. is one of those dudes. He finds him. He's looking. Rob, I've never seen anybody bow up on Rob. Rob generally is, when he sees stuff as big as he is, he's the peacemaker guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's the peacemaker. He's the guy that will buy a round to de-escalate everything.
Yeah, let's not get carried away. He'll order the round. I don't know that he's buying.
He bought that one out at the Golf Club of Texas.
Well, that's because he didn't show up and he felt bad.
No, I'm talking about that time those people hit into us.
Those idiots that were complaining about pace of play.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, good times.
Usually he's the de-escalator.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, Rob wanted to go?
I mean, he was fired up. This dude pissed him off. Didn't take long for Rob to chill out and enjoy the music.
Oh.
But it was a great bar. Fun spot. Didn't know this was going to be a Johnny Campion Rob Thompson segment.
Mm.
We'll throw in some Eric Messersmith while we're at it. Talk about
New
legends.
Orleans?
Talk about legends. I wasn't going to name a city, but yes. Or Houston. Or California.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he go jump in the
Yes.
ocean before a flight?
He did. Eric, look at that. We're out of time. We'll have to tell this story at the Rue Pub later. Or on Tuesday. How we all almost got killed by some gang members at the beach in California because Eric Messersmith wanted to swim in the Pacific Ocean. Is that not the story you were going with?
Yeah.
Lots of stories from the road. Cowboys training camp, couple weeks away. We'll come up with more. None of them will include James Pledger in person. He's not allowed to go. But he does have 30 minutes to talk to you on Extra Innings with Pledge leading into Rangers-Astros here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Writing 1604 with the Blitz.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.